Good evening and welcome, everybody. It's Thursday, and we're coming right out with Ukraine update. We could do a lot of brouhaha and blah, 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 but tonight we're not going to bother. We're just going to turn right over to Starsky. He's going to give us a bit of an intro, and I'm going to set up a video that he sent over that is definitely something to see. So, Starsky, take it over, buddy. All yours.
Hi everyone, Operator Starsky here. So the main news of today is unfortunately the missile strike that was conducted by Russian forces on the city center of Kramatorsk here in Ukraine. And we've been reported that a lot of infrastructure was damaged by Russian missiles. One person is reported dead, and as much as 6 people reported wounded from this missile strike. According to our information, the appearance of HIMARS multiple rocket launch systems on the front lines helped us to introduce more of our Soviet-made missiles that were rarely used by Ukrainian armed forces, but still they were used targeting different important locations and objects. And currently we are using them much more often. And that's a great news because according to reports from our Ministry of Defense, we have destroyed already as much as 20 Russian ammunition storages and arsenals on the territory controlled by Russian troops, which is great. And today in Donetsk, another fuel storage, a huge one, was destroyed by HIMARS missiles, which is again great news for us because tanks that don't have fuel can't move, obviously. And great news, another great news we have received this morning. So yesterday, Ukrainian special forces have landed on Snake Island and installed Ukrainian flag on the island.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was beautiful, and of course, Russians were pissed off by this fact. That's why they made a fresh fake regarding their missile strike that was allegedly conducted today on the Snake Island. They also claim that they have killed, again, like hundreds of Ukrainian special forces on the island. Of course, there's zero personnel at this point because there's no sense for wasting our men by landing them, by stationing them on the Snake Island. And of course, this island is currently being aimed at by all kinds of Ukrainian artillery. That's why no Russian rapist will ever land there again. So those are the news.
All right. It's always one of those things. You get some good and you get some, oh man, and you almost find it at times tough to really get a good joy out of the good because sometimes bad is bad. Like it's stuff you really don't want to hear. But I think to make sure that everybody feels a little joy in the happy moments is definitely warranted and brought out, not hidden.
Yeah, and the funny thing was that Russian ideologist Dugin, a person who's partially responsible for creation of this Russian fascist ideology of Ruski Mir, he was saying about the Snake Island that there are some kinds of ancient ruins located on the island, which is basically true because there were old ruins. And I think that they were protected by the United Nations and they were destroyed by Russian fire at the very beginning of the invasion. And Dugin said that whoever controls whoever controls the Snake Island will prevail, will control the future of the Earth, or something like that. So basically, yeah, we heard the dude and we planted our flag there.
Nice. Aimee, did you want to come in with the super chat there?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, please. Thank you. We've got a super chat we've got it from Level 70 for Canadian $13.99. Says, hi, Starsky. What do you make of Putin's threat today that Russia has barely started its action and that Ukraine should accept Russia's so-called peace terms? Thank you very much.
I thank you for your question. I think that they're desperate because you have to learn how to read their threats. I think that probably a month into invasion, when when Russian troops were still attempting to encircle Kyiv, and they were losing like 1,000 of their men every day. They were like writing a lot of commentaries and making a lot of statements that we have not started to fight yet, and then they have retreated from Irpin and Bucha and Hostomel, and they were like, yeah, we're giving you this land, but we have not started fighting yet. And then they retreated from Sumy and Kharkiv, and of course they left their beloved Chernobyl area, and they were like, we have not started fighting yet. You will see the might of Mother Russia. And come on, I mean, they're lying all the time.
I think they said that them retreating is a gesture of goodwill.
Yeah,
what
the
they
gesture
said.
of goodwill. It's like synonymous of, being like, how you call it?
Be nice.
Униженный.
Humiliated.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that worked out well. We just had a troll in the chat that got stomped around real good, tried to be an asshole. Well, it looks good on you. Fuck you. We're not having that. Anything on not so much a mainstream news front, Starsky, but maybe things that are a little bit less heard. Like, has there been any more dissections of ridiculous army gear or anything? Anybody find anything crazy?
Let me think. I don't think so.
It doesn't always happen, right?
Yeah, we see a bunch of their old vehicles being brought to the front lines, like their versions of, I think, T-74 or T-80, T-82. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm very, very sleepy, so don't call me on me on that. So they brought a bunch of tanks that after the Chechen war were brought to those storages because they had faulty engines that would fail very, very often, and they also bring their older tanks like T-62 to the front lines, where they burn very, very nicely.
I also read a report. I don't know if Clapper yourself, if you've heard this, but Russia's already running into problems just maintaining air traffic within the country because they can't get parts for airplanes that were made outside their country.
Yeah, this is true because such companies as Boeing and Airbus have placed multiple sanctions on Russia as well, and they refused to service their airplanes, and it was made basically in March, I believe. So since March, those airplanes that they have, and they have a bunch of them, are flying at their own risk without having proper maintenance. Russians said that they are nationalizing those airplanes, so to say, which is basically stealing. I think that they will run into some big problems very soon when those airplanes start falling down.
Yeah, and I mean, you can hide that, but come on, not for long, right?
There's a very intricate, actually, like addition to that news that, from what I've been reading, I'm not exactly sure like which insurance company, but I think it's like an internal kind of insurance company that insures planes within the country from accidents, and they said that they're not going to do insurance on planes anymore because of this specific reason that there's no parts. So flat your own risk. Yep,
Wow.
that's true.
Wow. Did Aimee want to jump in? We got a couple shouts we can make there.
Yes, please, if I can. That'd be great. Thank you so much. I've got one super chat from Marco Endler for €5. Says, Putin says, what can I say? Let them try it. Everyone should know that Russia hasn't really started in Ukraine yet. What to make of it? And then Samantha Williams donated Canadian $40.08. Says, don't fancy my chances of convincing work. I need an hour to plan, aka watch the stream for the second week in a row. So in case I can't make it, I want to give a shout out to Ukraine for defending the world and our democracy. Much love. Thank you so much, Samantha.
Great shout.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a
Um,
good one. And then we've got
there's-
Boston Dan 77 for $9.99 American says, can you explain why the separatist regions want to leave Ukraine? To me, it sounds 100% like Russian propaganda brainwashed them to fight their own brothers, or is there more to it? Thank you so much, everyone.
Ooh.
Yeah, so regarding Putin, facts are that Russians have spent 4 months trying to capture such towns, which are very, very small towns, okay? Like Rubizhne and Severodonetsk, and Ukrainian armed forces spent 1 month successfully liberating areas of Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Chernihiv, and Mykolaiv, and other areas. So you must understand that Putin has dropped all he had in the direction of Severodonetsk, and currently they can only advance in one direction at a single spot on the front lines. And currently Ukrainian armed forces are successfully counterattacking on the south. We cannot talk much about it, but we can see results every day. Yesterday, one of the villages were liberated again by Ukrainian troops near Kherson, and we are very, very close. As for separatists, we were talking about this Russian propaganda that was active in that region for a very long time, but I can say that for Ukrainians here, it became quite a surprise because at some point in 2014, our friends, our families that lived in Ukraine, that were calling themselves Ukrainians and stuff, suddenly, and it's like all of a sudden, told us that you are killing us, you are bombing our cities, and we're like, what the hell are you talking about? I mean, you were attending Ukrainian schools, you were supporting Ukrainian football teams, and everything was okay. But then at some point, they started talking like it was like instantly. They started talking about their like own republic. It was kind of interesting. But the fact is that organizations like DPR was active since, I think, 2005 or 2008. There are evidence found on Google in photos, people with those flags, and those people were supported, of course, by Russian government. So yeah, that's interesting. And practically the same thing with Crimea. We must understand that there is no such thing as referendum, freedom of speech, that can be held, when there are people with guns around people from other country. So yeah, it doesn't. We don't do things that way in civilized world.
I just wanted to butt in for the viewers. When Starsky says Severo Donetsk, that means north. That's Sever, north. Just saying.
All right. Let's see here. Does anybody here want to get into anything before we look for a few viewer questions and whatnot? Starsky, would this be a time to bring that video in?
Yeah, sure. So my guys partially returned from Severodonetsk, and they brought some of their own footage that was made by our soldiers. And I think it would be interesting to watch it, because I decided to make a small dedication for them. So I made this video for our guys by using their own videos. I'm a great first officer, right? So
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so I made a small tribute to my guys who were fighting on the front line since the beginning of this crazy invasion, and they were holding their defense in Rubizhne and Severodonetsk for 4 months.
All right. So here, I'm going to play it. For everybody watching in meets here, us on the stream, it'll take a few seconds for the audio to kick in. Sorry, it's an OBS issue.
Как вкусно пахнет. Это еще попочай.
День нас обстріляли. Все горить, просто все горить. Прильоти такі були, що це капець. Ще там горить. Ось цього горить. Все горить просто. Держимося, держимося.
И вот это здание было целое. Цена обрушилась. Вот так. Кидают термические бомбы. Уже третья. Прекрасный вид с третьего этажа. Терраса.
Все погоріло. Ілюха вещи носить, загружає. Машини теж згоріли. Воронка, дивіться.
The face of heroes.
Давай, Миша!
Армата!
Wow. And that's just a quick edit. I can only imagine the actual footage you were pulling from and what that could be if it was a long edit. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's true. And I must say that my guys keep their great spirit, judging from what they're saying, because they said that they were bombed with those thermobaric bombs in that fragment where you see that destroyed building in the beginning, and that moment when there's like artillery shelling outside, and the guy is cooking something tasty. Yeah, I'm so proud of those guys. They are the best breed in this world. In this world.
Well said. Dave.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw in at that point. We've gone over this several times in different streams and gone along these sorts of themes. So once tragedy is normalized, the war loses its shock factor. So how do you keep the international community engaged in the war? Is it through content like this that shows the sort of the real connection with, you know, the real world, showing them cooking and that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's true, and of course we have to show like their life on the front line like it is in the real life. Okay, so we don't need those heroic music and stuff like that. We just need to show the guys in their typical typical area of behavior, so to say. So
yeah, it's relatable. You know, it's relatable content. It's content that you could say, hey, that could be us in another part of Europe, because that's exactly what it is. It's another country exactly like my own. It's exactly like every other continental European country. This could have been somebody else. This could have been anyone.
it's true. Here in Ukraine since 2014 and until February this year, a lot of Ukrainians who lived in peaceful cities, they didn't understand that actually. And before the invasion, I was making those series on my blog in Ukrainian regarding what to do in case of war. And I received a lot of commentaries from Ukrainians like, why are you trying to scare us? Don't do that, please, you know. Because of course it's so inconvenient to even think about war and things like that. And despite that fact, a lot of Ukrainians still experienced it, unfortunately. And because I kind of knew that this invasion is inevitable, I was making those series for civilians as well as for guys from territorial defense. And I tried to explain to people that everything that surrounds them can change instantly in a fragment of a second. Everything that you have when you look at your room where you are sitting at this moment, you must understand that at some point everything can change, everything can disappear, and your room, all those things that are familiar to you, that surround you, your bed, pillows, carpet, your computer, everything. At some moment, everything changes. You can see everything covered in fragments, concrete, dust and stuff like that, burning. It changes very, very quickly with just one cruise missile, with just one shell. A lot of people didn't understand that, while there were millions of internal refugees from Donbass who fled to Ukraine-controlled territory, who survived that. We've been to plenty places on the front lines before 2022, and we saw all that. We saw a lot of ruins. We saw a lot of places where people lived. I remember that we were patrolling some distant area in Krasnohorivka in 2015, I guess, and we visited like projects they were abandoned because there was a house that was shot at from by Russian tanks numerous times, and we saw, those empty apartments that were filled with, fragments and dust and stuff like that, destroyed property. And it was a very sad picture. I remember that there were pictures of some family scattered on the floor, and I was looking at them, and I tried to imagine that one day some kind of bearded bald dude wearing camouflage would stay in my very own apartment and watch at my own pictures, or pictures of my family. So yeah, we gotta realize that life changes very, very quickly, and we should always value and preserve what we have.
Absolutely. Well said. It definitely, I don't know about anybody else, it is slightly different being in Europe. I know we are technically as far away as we can be and still be in Europe, but it certainly makes you more grateful for what you've got. It gives you a different perspective on life. It makes you realize these things are actually temporary, and you strip back all of this superficial nonsense that goes on social media, and you start to value the real things. Is that an impact that it's had on you as well? Do you think that you probably were caring about some things 4 months ago that you've now just completely forgotten about?
Yeah, it can be, but we can talk about that like for hours actually, because there's so many stories that we will be able to tell like after the war. So let's save some content for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure
Dave,
thing.
did you want to grab any of the questions there, or DK? You haven't said anything yet. DK, hello.
Well. I mean, you're all chatting. I mean, I don't want to just like dive in. But what's interesting though is, even though I've not been in a war zone, I've experienced exactly what Starsky was talking about.
Marriage, yeah.
Marriage, yeah. Well, everything changed overnight. No, I was just sitting on the settee in the house, was watching telly, and all of a sudden there was a huge explosion, and just dust everywhere. And I walked out the front room, which was just to the front door, which is like 3 feet away, and there was just dust and daylight, well, nighttime. The lights were streaming in. There was a fucking car that had crashed into the house, and in a blink of an eye, everything had changed from just a normal house to one that was absolute ruins. And that
Jesus,
and that wasn't a war zone. So you can imagine, well, you can try to imagine what it must be like if that barrage was constant. Just happening once is bad enough.
Yeah.
But having it happen over and over again, with the threat of being shot as you walk out to find out what's going on, it's staggering, really.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that little tidbit of my life history in there for no reason whatsoever, just to do a sound check, I suppose. So I'll fuck off now.
That's how it's done.
That's how we do a sound check.
Yeah. So, here, well, I'll lead us off. We've got a couple in here. What is that? Sick Caddy? SYCC Caddy? I'm going to say Sick Caddy just because I need it to be easy. Starsky, answer us about the Ukrainian guy selling the Himar to a Russian guy. Do you know this story?
Not really. I gotta check it out, actually.
Azimuth. Yeah.
We're not selling them. We're giving them for free.
That's a difference. Jack wants to get in, I think, on this.
Not really exactly on this, just kind of wanted to have additional news that like my state television channel showed the corpses of Belarusian fighters that were killed in Ukraine. And they also, on top of that, aired one of the mothers of those people grieving on the phone, trying to find her kid. So there's that. And they were like being nasty about it, and they were saying like, it's the link to that is in the news channel. So just if anyone wants to have a look.
Okay, cool. We had a question here from Azimuth. Hello, Starsky. Question: what is the name of your metal band? That's a good one.
It's a very strange name. Actually, it's called Starsky. And I think that I should include the link into my channel.
Yes.
To linked channels or whatever they are called. It's Starsky. There's basically just 2 tracks that are ready. One is not finished, and you can hear that track playing in the end of every video that I make. And I currently don't have a slightest possibility to finish it, but I will do everything I can.
You know what you ought to be doing, Starsky, is going around some of that Russian junk metal they leave behind and picking up a bit of percussion to add to a track.
Yes, actually, I must confess that I'm using a sound of explosion in 2 of those songs. So whenever there's this culmination of the song, and you can hear this bass drum, so it's enforced with the sound of explosion, those lower basses,
Cool.
Yeah, it's just to improve the sound, and because I suck at compressing drums, I think that it worked well.
We did a thing, Starsky, years ago where we recorded the sound of like a big sledgehammer coming down on an anvil or whatever. We went to a metal shop and recorded it, and we put it under the snare drum for this really heavy metal tune we recorded, and it sounded awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I noticed that this explosion, it's very nicely compressed.
Cool.
So yeah, so it kicks. It does.
We got a couple of super chats we should get to. I wonder if Amy's free and available.
I am. Someone is behaving tonight. Shh.
Wow.
I know. That's too funny. We have 2 super chats. One from Estelle Jaguar for £5 sterling says, I read that some U.S. general said the HIMARS can reach the Crimean Bridge now. The orcs are also setting up defense of the Kerch Bridge now in case. Then we have from David Oliver for £5 sterling says, Operator Starsky, fish and chips is my England's national dish. What is Ukraine's national dish? Thank you very much, everyone.
Cool.
Yeah, so regarding Crimean Bridge, they can not reach it because it's kind of far. So HIMARS is good at range of up to 80 kilometers. That's first reason. The other reason is that those rockets, basically missiles, because they're guided, so they need to have at least 10 times of explosives, because the warhead of HIMARS contains about 90 kilograms of explosives, which is not so much, but they are great because they produce a precise fire. And 90 kilograms of explosives is not even enough to damage that bridge at least somehow, you know. But I think that even those missiles that we used together with HIMARS, those Soviet-made .O missiles that are very powerful, still they cannot do much damage to the bridge, because I personally saw a bridge which wasn't very big in Ukraine that was hit by .O 2 times, and it didn't fall down. So we need something more than that. Again, I protest against destroying this bridge, because we need to give Russians some kind of path to retreat after Crimea is liberated.
Advance to the
Holy
rear.
yeah, wait a minute. We got to build the bridge we just blew up to get these fucking orcs out of here. God damn it. You know?
Yeah, and regarding national cuisine, so we have borscht. And 2 days ago, Ukrainian borscht was recognized as world's international legacy. Actually, like national legacy, but it was recognized by the United Nations as legacy
Chemical
of Ukrainian
warfare.
people. Yeah, legacy of Ukrainian people that should be preserved and protected. So that's borscht. We also have halushki. We also have something similar to Polish pierogi. They're called vareniki. Basically, same stuff. We have a lot of things in common with our Polish friends, and but in Ukraine we prepare those pierogi with cherries, and they are super awesome.
Cool.
And yeah, and we also have green borscht, which is not very common, but it's very nice. And we have a bunch of stuff like that. So we have horilka, which is basically something like vodka, only it's a bit milder, and it's very nice with honey or with pepper. So we gotta try that.
Sounds like Winnie the Pooh would approve.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a comment in the chat earlier. I tried to find it again, but I couldn't. But it was Estelle Jaguar, and she said something along the lines of have a poll to find Starsky a wife or something. It was pretty funny. That just won't leave you alone, will it?
Yeah, it's true. Oh, one more thing regarding Ukrainian cuisine. So Ukrainians are very spoiled with our cuisine because it's so good. I'm being honest with you. So whenever we go outside of Ukraine, we are being fed by local cuisines, we're like, yeah, it tastes well, but you know, it's not like we're big patriots of our own cuisine. It's so good. And whenever people from other countries arrive to Ukraine, it's just one thing that they will always remember from Ukraine, because everything is so tasty, and we have that, you know, opulent cuisine here in Ukraine, so everything tastes very nice.
We don't see any Ukrainian food over here, but with all the refugees that have come over, I wonder if we're going to start seeing us like Ukrainian restaurants popping up every the odd place here and there.
Where I live, for the last like 10 years, we've been lucky enough to have this Ukrainian sort of bakery deli. They do up dishes and whatnot, and you can just go in and they just make like Starsky was saying, pierogies with cherries. I'm in a valley where we have cherry orchards, and the cherries are just these big, huge, lovely, amazing things. And oh dear God, would you like some of the ones they make? I bet, Starsky. They're so old school, traditional about everything. It's so good. Cost you a couple extra bucks because, I mean, you know, they're just doing their thing, making a living, but nobody in town gives a rat's ass because it's so good. The place is always busy.
Yeah. So when I was in the States back in 2008, I think I cannot say that American cuisine sucks. Not at all. I liked hamburgers. I liked those guys have nice yogurts. Yogurts in Ukraine suck.
Yeah.
I'm honest, because in the US they're more like natural, I would say. They have like very they taste better actually, and yeah, I've been to Starbucks. I took those hamburgers with fried egg or omelette or something like that. It was nice, but meatballs suck.
I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah, I wanted to try them, but I didn't like what I had. But yeah, in Ukraine, everything tastes amazing. We have things like holodets, which is meat with jelly, and it's served not like frozen but cold. So it's like meat inside of jelly that's made from bones, and it's crazy. It's amazing with mustard and stuff and garlic, and yeah, you gotta try it.
It sounds like the inside of a British pork pie to me.
Something like that. That's very, very similar. Yeah.
Dave's looking to jump in there.
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, that doesn't sound like it's to my taste, but I'm sure somebody else might like it. I wanted to combine two questions from the chat. Level 70 asks Starsky if Ukraine will start targeting Russian cargo ships carrying stolen Ukrainian grain, because this obviously follows in from the point that you've just been making. And where are we? Brandy Robertson as well. Question for Operator Starsky: are the Russians really burning the wheat fields right now at harvest time?
Yeah, we had reports of fires in Kherson region that we have received probably a week ago. So basically, about a week ago, we started to receive those reports. As for those ships carrying grain, I doubt that Ukrainians will ever shoot those ships. It's better to follow their track and see where they heading to, and basically do what the Turkey did to one of those ships that was carrying stolen Ukrainian grain.
What was that? What did they do?
Yeah, so they detained the ship. They arrested everything that it was carrying.
What was it trying? Leaving the Black Sea, through the Straits.
Yeah, it docked in the Turkish port, I think.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
and
just like jumped on and said, no.
Oops.
Yeah, and Turkish authorities arrested the ship.
Wow. Well, good for them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's their country.
We
stolen grain.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Amy, there's a super chat there that you and I both can appreciate, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've got a couple super chats here. I've got one from Level 70 for Canadian $13.99 says, I think Starsky misunderstood the previous Himar's question. There is a rumor that some corrupt person in the Ukrainian military sold a unit to the Russians. I do not believe this is true. And then, oh yes, this is the one that's a really good one. Donny Boy 73 for Canadian $5 says, have you tried our Canadian poutine, Starsky? It's really good.
Yes. Donny Boy, you notice Amy says it correctly?
Yes.
Well, I've tried some Canadian poontang, but I don't think it's the same.
Trust me, if your poutang comes with curds, you're in the wrong place, baby.
You might have
and what is that, Dick?
Here, I'll let Amy describe because she'll get it just sounding so good.
It's basically it's French fries or chips.
Cheesy chips.
Yes, yes. And it has you have a bed of those, and then you have some cheese curds on top with some gravy. whichever flavor gravy they have at the time. Usually it's like a beef-based gravy.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
And it sort of half melts the curds, not completely, but to a texture that's just unheard of in humanity and everything you need to experience. It's so good.
It's so yummy.
You like cheese? You like peas? Try cheesy peas.
Damn it, you ruined that one too.
Yeah. What are you doing, DKG?
But we should go back to the previous super chat about the corrupt person selling one HIMAR, acronym of sure. And then he said he did state at the end it was level 70. I don't believe it's true, but we should give that a shout again here.
Sure. It's from level 70 for Canadian $13.99. Says, I think Starsky misunderstood the previous HIMARS question. There is a rumor that some corrupt person in the Ukrainian military sold one unit to the Russians. I do not believe this is true.
That's it.
Thank you.
I mean, we're grown-ups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is definitely conspiracy theory level stuff, but we tackle and smash that shit around here a lot on some of the other shows we do. So I can see somebody bringing it up to be smashed. It does make sense around here.
Yeah. I gotta check, because if this rumor is being spread like since yesterday, then maybe our Stop Fake organization can disprove that as well. Actually, I gotta Google it.
Cool. Ngato, English are fond of spotted dick. I have an English uncle. Dear God.
Actually, Russians have shared some fakes regarding HIMARS recently, so they were claiming that they have destroyed like a bunch of HIMARS systems in Ukraine with their artillery fire, and basically it's not true, because they showed some kind of footage that was showing not HIMARS. I think that footage was showing Caesars. But anyways, I mean, how can, and it makes me wonder every time, like, how can people trust a country that have shot down MH17 and kept lying about it like for years? I mean, after that, I would not trust any word coming from their media.
Susan Push in the chat says, I wonder, any relation to Casey? Yeah, just to, never know. I heard that rumor too, but in German news, they said it's absolutely fake news. So yeah, that would really fit the pattern of, Russian claims so far during their fucking unlawful, hideous fucking action against Ukraine.
Well, I wouldn't want to get political, but with the stuff that goes on in America, it seems like 50% of the nation over there would just believe any kind of shit that you said. So so people just throw shit out, and sometimes people stick to it. I don't know.
Thanks, APB.
It's because people like things like that, starting from horoscopes and tarot cards and shit. I mean, I'm not trying to insult people who do those things, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I know you don't mean to insult them, but it's kind of pretty insulting to the intelligence when some people actually live by it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today in the commentaries, some dude told me that that like Ukraine must step back because God is on the side of Putin, and Putin was blessed.
Sorry, but it fit.
Yeah, 100%. So I basically told him that I talked to God, and he said that he's with Ukraine, so there's nothing to worry about. And oh my God, I mean, like when you hear, I'm okay. Again, I'm not trying to insult Christians and stuff because I'm a Christian myself, but like, come on. I mean, when you hear somebody talking to you and there's nobody there, I mean, you have
Yeah.
problems. Yeah.
Yeah. Good grief. I mean, there's not really much you can do in that sort of situation. It's just they just believe that in their head. That's what they believe. It's based on nothing whatsoever. Just their own little. I wouldn't even say it's a belief. It's just like a little spark went off in their brain, and it's caused this like catalogue of shit just to grow inside their brain. And think, yep, God's on the side of Putin. Must be.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think Putin's ever really, had much of a relationship with God, but
Yeah, totally. And it's like, remember, I've been showing you that video of contactless fighting with cross.
Oh, right, yes. Sorry, yeah, I know what you mean now.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would never forget it. So
Yeah, no, it took me a moment, but yeah, no, I remember.
yeah, it's something like that. I mean, people feel a lot of crazy stuff every day. We have those, random feelings. We have random suspicions and things like that. Some, I don't know, some weird, crazy anticipations, and it basically doesn't mean anything. It's natural. Come on.
It just seems to me that people today are more likely to be attracted and stick to conspiracies rather than actual facts. It's almost like it makes it more interesting somehow to them. I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean. They're not interested in the actual reality. They're more interested in what it could be and what it could mean and what's the big scheme in the great world.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to live in the world like full of, ghosts, aliens, reptiloids, shady Zionist governments that Russians always like mention in their commentaries and things like that. I mean, world is such an amazing place without conspiracies. I'm telling you, you gotta come to Ukraine and visit our mountains, Carpathian mountains, where
Well, apparently they don't exist.
Where, by the way, where I think those mountains were visited by Vlad Tepes, known as Vlad Dracula himself. Yeah, I'm trying to attract people to Ukraine as much as I can.
Yeah. I hear the Loch Ness monster likes the holiday there as well.
Oh, Nessie can always be seen with a cold one at the side of the lake.
Oh dear God. Yeah, that's one way. That's one way to boost tourism is just to make shit up, and people will flock to it.
Oh, definitely. Hey, Dark Sky Files, how you doing? Good to see you. I wonder if we shouldn't do a few questions, Dave. Do you think we should get into a couple here?
We certainly can, if I can find the latest one. Let me have a look. Manuel Brotset, are Ukrainian forces making any progress in the south? That might be a good place to start with Snake Island. What is the strategic advantage with Snake Island, by the way? I don't think I understand that one.
So Russians used Snake Island first as their naval operation base, and they tried to place their anti-air measures like long-range anti-air measures on Snake Island to intercept Ukrainian anti-ship missiles. And currently they don't have such option. And by the way, they left a bunch of those destroyed anti-air vehicles on the Snake Island. They're most modern ones. I think it's called Panzer in Russian. So yeah, we gotta see what we can make out of it.
Sweet. Making sure that the audience question gets answered and not my own one. Are there any other gains that have been made in the south?
Yeah, so we are currently progressing towards Kherson. We know exactly that Russians cannot counterattack in that area because they have transferred all the combat-worthy troops, like not all, but majority of their combat-worthy troops to the east, as well as majority of their artillery. And they have like only one option: either give up east, either give up Kherson.
Alrighty. Julie Astorp, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Starsky, what was you doing the day the war started? How did it make you feel? And what did you do that day?
Great question.
Great question.
To me, the war started in 2014. And in 2014, when the war started, I've been receiving medical treatment in Poland after Revolution of Dignity, after Maidan, where I participated as well. And we've had a bunch of fights against those thugs, those mobs that were brought from Donbass, by the way. And I received a bunch of injuries. Like I injured my wrist very bad, and I received a rubber bullet to my knee as well. But now it's more or less fine. And yeah, I've been in Poland, and at some point in August, I think, there was this operation in Ilovaisk. It's in Donbass. So our guys got surrounded in the area of Ilovaisk by Russian battalion tactical groups, and it's like one of those times where when Russians brought their regular troops to the Donbass. And one of my friends was there. So he served in a Donbass battalion, one of those battalions, voluntary battalions that appeared in 2014. It was called Donbass. So he served there, and he was captured. He spent 119 days in the prison in Donetsk. And as soon as he got captured, I messaged his wife from Poland to Ukraine, and I told her that first of all, she has to erase everything that he had in his Facebook, which we did, because later it was everything checked in his social media and stuff. And he was a sniper. So you must understand that they don't let snipers leave as soon as they capture them. They usually execute them. So he survived, and but in August I decided that I have to move back to Ukraine as soon as I can. So I moved back, and I joined another voluntary battalion. And as soon as I returned to Ukraine, my body was released together with his comrades. So we've had a nice drink, of course. I think I've been drinking for 3 days, but yeah, this is the way we celebrate here in Ukraine. But yeah, after that, I got deployed on Donbass as well next year in 2015 in the area of Mariinka and Krasnohorivka. So that's basically the start of war, how the war started for me. And if you mean the beginning of the invasion, it was a bit different. So I was analyzing the information coming from Russian media and Russian dictator. And on the evening of 23rd of February, I already knew that the shit's gonna hit the fan. So I packed my bag, I prepared my weapons, and I went to bed late in the night, probably around 1 a.m. And around 5 a.m., I already got up to the sounds of explosions. And yeah, I knew that it started. So I took my bag and I went to my base. And when I was already on my way to the base, I received a call, the alarm call. So we are contacted by our responsible people, and we are ordered to gather at the base in such cases. So then I arrived to the base, and on my way to the base, I received a picture from my base, from my unit that was hit by a Russian cruise missile in the morning. And when I arrived, I had a chance to see that crater, and oh my god, it was huge. But again, because it was high precision Russian missile, it missed our headquarters. And yeah,
Damn, they got the latrines.
yeah, and just in a couple of hours, the air raid started in Hostomel. So I saw our guys preparing and stuff like that. We were taking our positions before this air raid. We were taking our positions in the area of the airport and our base. So we were getting ready for the fight because we knew that something's gonna happen. But I can say that we didn't expect so many helicopters, because there was a lot of them. I think that until today I have some minor PTSD related to sound of rotors, you know.
That would definitely make sense, right? I mean, come on. I have PTSD as it relates to suit jackets with the sleeves rolled up and flamboyant colors, because I was old enough to remember the 80s. So I get it, you know.
Yeah. I get PTSD when I hear helicopter rotors. You know, I just remember Nam, and I wasn't even fucking there.
Well, with all the movies, though, I mean, you can almost.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you know.
It's more of a calming, soothing presence for me. Even on the farm, we get some coming over now and again. We're not far from an army base. I think it's just a matter of perspective, I guess.
Do you get Chinooks?
Very occasionally. I do like a Chinook.
Yeah.
I always called them a Chinook. I remember a Chinook
Chinook
being on Thunderbirds at one point. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. It's like a helicopter with two blades. Oh,
awesome noise.
Yeah.
Russian K-52 helicopters, they also have two blades. They have two rotors, and because they are counter-rotating, they don't have the tail rotor to stabilize their flight. But they suck. I mean, you saw those videos where Ka-52 is trying to like hover in the air, and it's shaking like crazy. And I think somebody in the British Ministry of Defense said that they would never ever certify such an aircraft because it's dangerous for its pilot. Yeah.
Anybody on board, all their fillings will fall out.
Yeah.
I'm willing to combine a few different questions together from the audience concerning NATO. I might have to make a few corrections as I go along. Which one was the first one? The first one was from Jane Iadair. Do you think Putin is still looking to face off with the West and NATO, especially now Finland and Sweden have joined? I just want to quickly throw in, I don't think they've joined yet, but I think that Turkey are now out of their way. There's been something signed that says their initial, I think it was something along the lines of a terrorist group in Turkey, or I think it was both those countries considered a group in Turkey to be terrorist, but the government in Turkey considered them to be allies. Now that's been resolved. So that was the first point. And the second was question for the panel and Starsky from Lawrence Wells. Why are NATO not giving the correct amount of weapons to Ukraine? I don't know if that's true. But the third point was from Kayus Ion. If that's I don't know if that's the right name. Honestly, people just make your name like Marks Johnson or something, because I can't read them.
Something readable.
Yeah. Why doesn't NATO give Ukraine infantry cutting-edge weapons? How can World War I Maxine machine guns still exist?
They are nice machine guns. Come on.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Reliable. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sound they make, like ta 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 ta. Yeah. So I think Putin is not going to stand against NATO. And recently, like yesterday, his troops that were located next to the border with Finland, they moved back. So he had some kind of crazy military exercise on the border with Finland involving a lot of troops. I think around 1,000 men. And they have moved back. I mean, if
wasn't that just posturing on his part, though? It was just basically because they were talking about joining NATO, so Putin put the troops there just as like a show of force.
Yeah. As for Turkey, I think that that Finland and Sweden, they give shelter for refugees from party of Kurdistan, something like that. And I think that Turkey thinks it's a terrorist organization. Don't quote me on that, please, because I'm not expert in Middle East. But I think that was the problem. And eventually, I think that Turkey understood that public security is much more important regarding to what Russia does and what kind of statements Russia makes. And of course, as it usually happens in civilized world, I think that they can solve that problem between themselves somehow later or eventually. So yeah, that's a great example of partnership in my opinion. So my best regards to Turkey. And what was the last question? The question regarding NATO and weapons. I cannot judge from my level because I don't have access to such information. Probably we even do receive enough weapons. I'm not saying that we don't, but I cannot answer this question honestly. I don't have that kind of information to share, unfortunately.
Yeah. We had one. Let me just bring it up because I wanted to get this question in. From APBPA, what has been the toughest decision you have had to make during this ordeal so far, and why did you make the choice that you made?
The toughest decision, I gotta think about it. I think I have no idea actually.
Was it
one of-
choosing from the sushi menu?
Yeah, exactly. Because literally, I don't know what's better, like Philadelphia rolls or Green Dragon. They both taste well, in my opinion. But
Sorry, I trivialized the question.
one of the things is that, for example, my bro Max was in Severodonetsk. I was in Kyiv all the time, and we tried to like cooperate together. You know, he was sending me videos and information from the front lines. I've been like analyzing and monitoring everything here, and again, probably I could somehow replace Max on the front lines, because I think that I would have a lot of great videos made there, but in the army you don't really choose where you go actually. So in the army you are ordered to relocate or get deployed. It's not like you get enlisted and you go, oh, bring me to the craziest and most dangerous place on the front lines, I want to be there. Or like, I don't want to go to dangerous place, just bring me to some kind of more safer place. It's not like that. In the army you do not decide in most of cases.
Yeah,
there are people who decide for you, and like you cannot object that in most cases again.
Starsky, the entire chat has just figured out that your birthday is literally like, depending on where you live in the globe, either coming up or now.
Okay, so it's 1 a.m. on Friday, and it's 8th of July, and my birthday is tomorrow.
Okay, so the 9th.
The 9th, yeah.
Okay. So we can do a little happy birthday right now and whatnot, but Starsky, what if we do oh, that's good. What if we do a quick, 45-minute or whatever stream tomorrow, but we do it a bit earlier? Let's say like an hour or two earlier, so it doesn't like totally screw your shit around. I was actually going to talk to you and see if you wanted to do this show a good hour earlier.
I'm totally fine with that. I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah, we'll have a little birthday, celebration thing and whatnot, and we'll see how many people or women offer themselves to be your wife. I mean,
what are you talking about? Starsky's going to be at a bar early tomorrow, and he'll be out clubbing later on. It'll be all night. He won't have time to stream.
God forbid. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Cool.
I would love to see you guys tomorrow as well.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'll dress the set with some birthday stuff and whatnot, and we'll do it on camera proper tomorrow. There's actually an issue where if we go on camera, it goes all fucked up. That's why everybody's just off camera today. Honest mistake. I don't know what the hell happened, but but yeah, and we can have some fun. It'll be cool. Drunk Starsky show. Sure. Bravo says, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. What we'll do is right after the stream's done tonight, Starsky, we'll just set it up and we'll figure out a time that doesn't completely like kill you. And we can quickly talk, because I was thinking, if you need this show an hour earlier, it's fine with me. Don't matter to me none.
Yeah, whatever it feels convenient. Okay, I mean, I'm fine with midnight time tomorrow. I mean, midnight here in Ukraine.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's kind of weekend, and unless some Lukashenko would like to attack us that night, I think that I will be available.
Yeah, Starsky, do us a favor. Give that leader of yours a call and see if he can pop in and have a drink. Man, he's a cool cat.
I will do my best, but I don't promise that.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm joking around, but wow.
I think we should get Zelensky on, because I'd like to ask him now Boris Johnson's out, he's gone. I wonder if Zelensky will be looking forward to talking to an actual grown-up in the British Prime Minister.
I'm sure there's a couple of times he's shook in his head and thought, holy fuck, this kid. I wish Pierre was around. That's a Canadian joke, if you know it.
Are there any grown-ups still in the Conservative Party? I don't know.
Well, yeah. If you say otherwise, I'm going to go to Mama, and I'm going to go to Nanny, and I'm going to tell on you, you scum.
Right, Jacob Rees-Mogg going to his nanny, looking after his 6 kids. Gee.
Hey, can we give a little shout out to Boris here? Hold on, I got one ready.
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
Honestly, I'm kind of gonna miss Boris. I like him.
Yeah, he was a satirist's dream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, just the hair. You know? Can you imagine every time he went on stage or on camera somewhere to do a presidential thing, there was some hairstylist makeup person that was just freaking out because as soon as they're done, he just wipes his hand through his hair and fucks it all up and goes out anyway, right?
I think some of the best moments, you might not get this because it's not on sort of TV and stuff where other people are, but because we have a regular Wednesday Prime Minister's Questions, typically the government will sit on the front rows in the cabinet rather, and just behind them is Theresa May, the former Prime Minister, and some of the questions that she's been asking Boris, I mean, her face sometimes is just like, what are you doing? Like, I got replaced by that, you know?
I actually like Boris because he may be dumb and he may be goofy, but at least he's genuine, and you can actually see that he's like, being a person. Like, because I like when it comes to politicians, when they're just like stonewalling and you just can't read them, it's kind of hard. And it's not.
Yeah, I definitely can't read a Keir Starmer. I think he said cost of living crisis about 50,000 times earlier, and then he comes across as far too plastic. And I'm not gonna, the reason that Boris is gone is because of his lies. So I can't really also agree that he's been honest, but I do at least, there's a part of him that is just genuine. Yeah. Like you can't fake that level of, narcissism, I guess is a strong word, but
yeah.
Guys, I have a question for you. Did you see the movie called Brexit with oh my god, how's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh damn, I didn't actually. I know he played Dominic Cummings, didn't he? I mean, I know what happens in real life. Don't ruin the ending for me.
Well, one sec, everybody. I'm about to not be able to pop them up, but we got to get Aimee in for a couple of super chats and a donation shout and whatnot. I wonder if she's ready. There she is.
Yes, please. I do. I have a few things here. We've got from Simon Shorthouse for Australian $10 says, what frightens me is how Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant can be retaken without the risk of a disaster. Also, Operator Starsky, I donate direct to you. Is your PayPal working well? Then we
Nice.
have, thank you. We have level 70 for Canadian $2.79, says happy birthday, Operator Starsky. And then we have from a donation from Mystery 30, who donated Canadian $7.80, says Starsky, I was wondering, have you seen a video of an LMG or IMG soldier firing at an S-300? I believe it's exploding. I was wondering what the background to it. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Yes, so my PayPal is working, and I'm very grateful for all your donations because they help me keep my channel running. And as for Zaporizhian power plant, yeah, it's a problem. Again, I'm not a strategist. I cannot tell you exactly how it's gonna be taken, but I know there are a couple of possibilities, but I would like to keep them secret, temporary. So as for that video, there was a machine gunner, Russian machine gunner, firing at S-300 anti-air system that had Ukrainian camo on it, and obviously it was either damaged or captured, and he was firing his freaking machine gun from like 15 meters away, and it exploded. And I think that the background was that Russians tried to stage some kind of video, of their mighty Russian troops firing at Ukrainian anti-air system, and yeah, they ceased to be.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Starsky, I think we should just make sure that your PayPal is working. So what I'm going to do on Discord, I'll put my PayPal email in there, and you can send me a few quid just to make sure. Just checking. Completely lost on you all. Never mind. Carry on.
Silence. I got it.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was typing and doing something, and I was like, "Oh, I can't respond. Somebody else will." Fuck.
All right. I'll tell you what. Try this one. Okay. Tomorrow's stream. It's Starsky's birthday, and so for every PayPal, we'll be adding another Gwyneth Paltrow candle to the cake. How about that one?
Oh dear God! Okay.
Jack wants to say something, I think.
Yeah, just wanted to mention about Russians faking stuff. Not sure if everyone saw, but I'm just going to mention it. Like I've been posting in the news section of the server, how Ramzan Kadyrov was kind of like making this little, I don't know what even to call it, like a staged thing with a fake president of Ukraine, Zelensky, where he was like capitulating. And then in the second clip, it continued. He didn't just post that, he continued, where he sits like this, czar, like a prince at his table, like a, I don't know. And then like this tied up actor with his binded hands and like the vest to, imitate Zelensky. He looks like him pretty well. And then he's just like making apologies and stuff. It's so cringe. It's so cringe. But you got to see it though.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen it too. Because guys, you have no idea what how much I suffer every time I watch those videos, because I have to see them like every day, and I mean, it's crazy.
It just like go like when I saw that, I couldn't believe it, because it's like the most unbelievable thing that you could ever do. Like it's the most cringiest thing. It's like, I don't know, like what to even call it. That's how bizarre it is. It's like out of this world. They can't do anything to Zelensky, so oh, we're just gonna make this staged video where he like apologizes to us. This is gonna be great. Like, what was going through their heads?
Yeah, yeah.
I must have missed something. Where was this video coming from? Was it? It wasn't just like a joke video on YouTube. It was it like coming from a Russian source supposedly, or what?
Ramzan
I think it was
Kadyrov,
on a
the
TikTok.
president of Chechnya.
Oh right. Okay.
Wow.
I linked it in the news section of the server. You can have a look.
I will go back.
Still
and have a look at
dumb.
Yeah, guys, I want to announce something. So
Cool.
after the war is finished, I will be happy to have my vacation finally, because it was supposed to start a week ago. And we decided with Max that we will go on tour across Europe. So I think that we will
Yes.
drive to Poland and
Ooh, stop at my place.
get drunk with Jack, and
Hell
then
yeah.
and then we will
Starsky,
go. Yeah.
If you want to make sure you're going to get to Poland without any muss or fuss, use a German car, because their GPS will definitely get you to Poland. Sorry, I had
really
to.
fast.
Actually, there's a Belarusian owned bar that just opened in Bialystok. So I'm waiting.
Bialystok.
yeah.
Okay, I got
But
that.
so have you got a plan? Like, you know where you're going and where the stops are going to be and stuff?
Yeah. So wait a second. I've had a map here somewhere. Just 1 minute. Here it is. So we're going to Lviv. It's Ukraine. Then we're going to Warsaw. Then through Wrocław, we're going to go to Prague. Then Munich. Then we'll probably go to Paris, and then through Lyon we'll go to Turin, and then we'll go to Genoa, and then we'll go to Rome, Naples. We'll swim. I think we'll take a ferry across the sea to Croatia, and we want to visit Zagreb as well. Then we will go to Graz, Vienna, and through Slovakia to Košice, and through Uzhhorod we will return back to Kyiv. Then we're taking a flight to the UK, get really, really drunk with you guys. So it's like that.
Small warning, like when you're going to be in Warsaw, don't speak Russian, because there was this incident where one of our Belarusian guys was kicked in the face by Polish with a brass knuckle for speaking Russian. First, they thought he was Ukrainian. They were like, yo, what's up? What are you doing here? Like, aren't you supposed to be fighting? You know, you're a guy. And he was like, no, we're Belarusians. And they're like, oh, shit. Oh, really? So they kicked his ass in. Yeah. Careful with that.
Yeah, I mean, Polish are tough guys, actually. They are.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting.
All right.
So
my liver is ready.
Well, we're going to have to chat, because I mean, we've got some European shills. We have a few American shills, and if everybody was to coordinate properly and whatnot, can you imagine we could have 3 or 4 microphones set up at the pub somewhere, and like 9 or 10 of us could get together with a couple of cameras and do like shills in the room together, live stream. Let's get drunk. Holy, that needs to happen. Wow.
Oh yeah, I think that my contract in the National Guard will be already over, so I will not be sorry at all.
Yeah. I've had enough. Holy
we could do the
God.
Shills International Disco Dancing Competition.
Yeah. Can you imagine, just one person needs a button to switch from camera to camera, depending on who's talking now and then. And you have the group camera as well, just to, give it that Shills touch the way we do. But that's it, man. It would be, holy, that has to happen. Wow.
Probably would need like headphones because public place.
Oh yeah, everybody would have to have Bluetooth headphones for the monitoring, right? Otherwise, it would be a nightmare. But if you had a couple of microphones close, so you were only talking at bar level, had a couple of cameras on the table just pointing at us, not other people, you'd be all set. You could pull it off, no problem.
Yeah,
Man, if only
here
I
in
could
Ukraine,
take my XLR mic.
here in Ukraine, we have this kind of international drinking club. It's called Veterans Drinking Club. I think this is the way it's called, and there are different guys, not only Ukrainian veterans, but also a couple of people from the United States, I think. And yeah, I think that last year we did that all the time. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, should we turn over to you and see if we got a couple of questions queued up as, a little regroup and
Yeah,
reshuffle? Sure.
Definitely. I'm just going to go in non-chronological order back in time. So how do I say these names? OMG 1103, I think that's meant to rhyme. Starsky, on the subject of mental health for the brave Ukrainians fighting this war, what techniques or strategies would you like to share for coping with the stress? Thank you. And there's also another couple of questions that are on mental health there. Azazel, I think that is. Starsky, I hope you're doing well and staying safe given the current situation. For the past months, I've been worried far too much about what's happening. Should I worry so much? I live in the UK, and then I'm just going to lead you with the third question. How is Hutch doing? By Alison Tomasic.
Okay, regarding the combat stress, we have a bunch of practices that are implemented in our army. I think back in 2016, we've been visited by different specialists, and my guys were taught those practices that we can easily do on the front lines as well. One of the most important things people should understand, like in the war zone, different things happen. For example, in the times of shelling, soldiers can like literally piece themselves, and it's like natural. This is the way the body reacts to stress. I think we talked about it previously. There's a bunch of different practices regarding proper breathing, proper way of relaxation and stuff like that. We should also watch after our comrades, because some of them can have this can be in the state of stress but not realize it. So we should watch that as well. And of course, we always support each other. Actually, that's the task of the squad leader, to make sure that his troops are fine, well rested, or at least rested enough. And if there's any suspicion that some of those soldiers avoid sleeping a lot or stuff like that, sergeant must pay attention to that. As for what was the second question? So here in Kyiv, like, absolutely nothing can happen to me, like literally, because this is Kyiv, right? Unless there's some kind of unfortunate missile strike, but it's like it's rare, because again, I'm a very small target to hit, so to say.
Yeah, but they'll be aiming for Zelensky and hit you instead.
Yeah, most obviously. I mean, there are many much worthier targets than me, I think. But it's like, nobody knows. Fuch is doing all right. Actually, he's sleeping over there. I'm not posting a lot of his pictures because, you know, he will steal a lot of my female audience. So
Steal the limelight.
that little bastard. Yeah.
Make him famous. What was that other dog's name that was really famous in Ukraine? I can't remember his
Patron.
name now. That's it. Patron. How was he doing, little bastard?
Yeah, he's doing fine.
Has he got more subs than you?
He does. Actually, he does.
Always happens.
He received a lot of random,
What did he do?
awards from people, not only in Ukraine, but yeah, I mean, I'm proud that we have.
My favorite clip out of Ukraine still has to be that elderly woman. She's obviously grandmother, style. And she goes up to the Russian soldier and she gives him sunflower seeds and says, "Here, put these in your pocket. So when you're dead and buried, you grow sunflowers on my lovely country's soil," or something like that, right? Holy
yeah,
fuck,
that one
man.
is famous.
Yeah, that lady's dead ass.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you imagine? Like, her children must be just the most upstanding citizens because you don't fuck with that girl, man. Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh.
As for Fuch, so he's a stray dog, right? So I picked him in the pet shelter back in 2017. I think he was like 2 years old back then. But he's like a hobo, so he has all kinds of habits that hobos have, and he likes to go like trash surfing, stuff like that. He likes to pick random crap from the garbage can. Yeah, and he's fine. I mean, he's different from other dogs because dogs, like every dog, has its like character, and most dogs like to play. They like toys. They like to pick, those sticks or little balls or stuff like that, which is different. He likes to just rest a lot because dogs sometimes spend up to 15 hours sleeping, and he loves belly rubs and stuff like that. But if you throw a ball at Fudge, he'll probably run away. Yes, because he's a hobo.
Grenade!
Yeah, and I love him the way he is.
That's awesome, man. Is Aimee there? We got a shout out to take care of here, right?
We
I
have a
think so.
couple. Yes,
Yeah.
please. We do. We have a couple. I have a super chat from Godless Scummer for £5 sterling. Says, "I'm a little late to this stream. Just wanted to say that the British people's solidarity with Ukraine doesn't begin and end with Boris Johnson." And then and then Godless Scummer came back again with a member message who says, "If they can't hit Zelensky's balls, they've no hope." Thank you so much.
I actually,
You got another.
well, I gave Godless Scummer the meats link. Here he comes right now. He's going to join us for the end of the show here. He's a really cool cat, Starsky. You're going to love this guy. Here he is. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Hiya, guys. Sorry, I'm a little late. I'm catching up on. I'm kind of catching up on what's been said. So
Cool.
A few months late.
So
Yeah, well, I'll give you a second because Amy's got one more super to shout out here, and then we'll get back in our flow.
yeah, and I think it's from me.
Yeah, I actually just did yours, but we have one from Rob Bertram as well for $4.99. Says, "Operator Starsky, when will we see a follow-up video with Grandpa Sakovich?" Thank you so much.
Yeah, I promise I will visit Grandpa as soon as I can because he lives in a kind of distant area of Irpin, where I'm not a frequent visitor in that area. So as soon as I can, I will do that. I promise, because I miss him as well.
Cool. Good shout. Good shout. So let's see here. I know Dave's got a couple queued up, so we should probably get to a couple of questions, and then we can kind of, fill in the blanks ourselves as we go.
Awesome. Yeah, I obviously, naturally, as soon as you say that, my screen just goes whoa, 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 and I lose the question. But now it's back. This is fine. This is the way live streaming goes on YouTube. Topaz is cringe, very cringe. How is civilian life in the Ukrainian capital at the moment? Does it feel like there's a war going on, or is it just like a thing in the background? Thanks and good luck.
So I would say it's 90% normal. I mean, in the capital, we finally, I would say, have like most of the services. During the first days, it was hard to, I don't know, have your things fixed or buy a cell phone, for example. Now you can do that totally. And KFC opened finally, like a couple of weeks ago, I think. And
that's the important bit.
No, it's not, because McDonald's is still closed, unfortunately. Yeah, but they promised to open in August, I think. So I have to survive this month somehow. And we have a lot of things. Prices didn't go up very high. Some of our products, like some specific sort of potato chips, are gone because their production was situated on the occupied territories, for example, as well as this Torchin plant that was very famous in Ukraine. It was producing tomato sauces and ketchups, and it's not active. So things like that. But you can totally live in Kyiv and feel yourself okay. I saw a lot of people in restaurants and stuff. But everything changes when the missile strike alarm is raised, because it means that, yeah, we've been fired at by Russian airplanes or their ships from the Black Sea, and there are missiles flying our way. So you never know what to expect during those missile alarms, and they usually last for like from 15 minutes to a couple hours, because Russians use random tactics to deliver those missiles to their targets. Some of those missiles maneuver over rivers where it's very hard to locate them with radars and stuff on the very small altitude. And things like that. So we still feel this danger. I think that we already passed the mark of 450 hours spent under missile strike alarm here in Kyiv.
It's funny you should mention ketchup, though, because we've got a ketchup crisis in the UK, because you can't get it at Tesco. No ketchup whatsoever.
Wow, really?
I got tons. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the last bottle of ketchup today that was on the shelf, and only because it had a broken cap and no one bought it, so I thought, oh fuck it, I'll have it. But
Yeah, there is a real problem,
don't you know?
Starsky.
Yeah.
I was going to remind us, Starsky, what was the name of the Russian McDonald's again? Tasty, get on with it. What was it called?
Oh,
cunt.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, it's tasty. That's it.
I heard some horror stories about like moldy meats and stuff being served.
Yep.
Wow, Jack.
That was McDonald's.
Yeah, they're already serving
McDonald's,
like molded buns over there, and I posted it in the news. Yeah, you could expect some kind of like mishandling like that because McDonald's is famous only because of their management strategies, not
That's
because
right.
of the food. The food.
No, it's the back end that supports it and makes sure that it's virtually
Exactly.
the same everywhere you go, right?
But when
It's
you
the
say back end,
management,
you don't
it's
make
the
it sound
food.
tasty.
It's the food supply, it's the management, it's
Yeah.
the food quality control, and these dudes, they're incapable of doing it.
Clapperjack, you could almost call McDonald's a logistics company. Because the actual local running of the shop, that's just a manager and local hiring and yada yada, but it's all force fed to them, right?
No, you're absolutely right, Dave.
Yeah.
Logistics company is a very good description.
In my country,
Well, they actually. Sorry, probably but I mean, I think they actually make most of their money off of like real estate, the buildings they own, more than food sales, from what I remember.
And the strength of the advertising and what it brings to your, franchise, right? Because I mean, it's just a guarantee. You see that sign, people are going to go in and eat. It's done.
Yep. Like in my country, they.
Sorry, go ahead, Clapper.
No, you go ahead. No,
you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No,
Okay.
you go ahead.
Okay,
Look,
let me interrupt you.
Yeah, let's start. Yeah, you guys can't make shit for nothing, so let Starsky have it.
Fight.
Okay, my time to ask questions. So, guys, what kind of the most recent food you have cooked yourself that you can brag of?
Well, that I can brag about. I mean, most
I got
recent
one.
was burrito, really, but yeah.
Oh, about a week ago, my son and I had a supper where I did these coconut buttered sort of prawns, and they were just lovely and crispy, and they were so great. And we had them beside these really nice pork tenderloin slices I had done up, and we did some baked potato with chive and sour cream, and it was just one of those moments where you go, the only thing that can finish this proper is to just sit down, enjoy the moment together, and watch one of his favorite movies so he's giggly and loving and happy. It was just amazing.
Nice. Who else?
Well, I cooked a gorgeous massamum curry the other night. I'm pretty dab had in a katsu don. I'm not bad in the kitchen. Well, if I can be asked. I can pull out the teppanyaki and start doing the Japanese cooking and all kinds of stuff. But what do you want?
Nice.
You can have anything you want at DKG's restaurant.
I'll give Bugaboo a shout out in the chat there. Rotisserie chicken on a pole over a campfire. Oh God, yes. Oh yeah.
And what was
good.
the name of the pole?
Goodness.
Did Ron Jeremy mind it getting that warm?
That's a funny place to put a chicken.
That's brilliant.
Oh God, see what we've done? See what we've done? Debauchery always happens.
It was a quick meal yesterday, so we made some vegetable stir fry. We're gonna have that left over tonight when we're done here.
Oh,
so
that's
there
cool.
we go. Thanks.
Hey, Starsky, over in the Ukraine, is like backyard barbecue a thing? Do you guys even bother? Like, I know some countries don't get it and some do, right?
Yeah, we do that all the time. I think I saw a bunch of people having barbecue like recently in the park. Yeah, we do that very often. I remember in 2015, we've been deployed on the Donbass, and we were patrolling the area. And there were like rows of those garages, and on the back of each garage, and it was near to the Kurahovo power plant, so there was this channel, and those garages were located right next to this channel, and on the back of each garage there was some kind of terrace, and like place for making barbecue, and people were having fun, drinking beer, catching fish, and stuff like
Awesome.
that. Yeah, it looked very, very awesome. So we do that a lot in Ukraine.
Awesome. I love
Well,
that.
here's hoping you get to have roast Putin for Christmas dinner. So I'll say that.
Well, they are specialised in smoked Russian at the minute.
The thing is that according to Russian media, we have eaten so many Russian children. So actually, I think that, it's no, thank you.
It makes the orc bacon
you-
taste sweeter.
There's just not
don't
enough
season
meat
him
on
with
Russian
polonium.
children.
Oh, dear God, this could get ugly. But it's one of those things where why would you want to eat the children of those who can't feed themselves?
Yeah, it's true. Some dude in the comments to my video was kind of bragging about the might of the Russian army. So I asked him, if Russian army is so mighty, why did they steal so many toilets in Ukraine? I mean, it's crazy.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
They were too scared to shit themselves in Ukraine.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask the question to both Jack and Starsky. So, the idea of this offensive is obviously they're trying to put together the old Union and gain back territory they had control of at one point in history, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But isn't it obvious to everybody at this point that that's so far gone and out of reach, it's not funny? And all they've done is strengthen the resolve of everybody to make sure they're never in that position again?
Well, in like their logic is like, think about, they were born in the Soviet Union. They were raised in it. The only thing they knew was the Soviet Union, and then it was taken away from them. And it's kind of like having something that you knew and were accustomed to suddenly disappears, and you kind of want it back. And the most logical sense doesn't really apply in this situation, because what you want and what your heart wants and what your head tells you are two different things sometimes. And especially when you get in power like Putin, and not a lot of people can tell you no, because you can just them.
Yeah.
So there's nobody to tell him that it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And he just wants it. So
I was going to say, now he probably doesn't want the old economic system back of the Soviet Union, but that sense of like empire that they had
it's imperialism.
That is what Putin wants back.
It's plain and simple. He just wants the empire rebuilt, but he doesn't understand that it's impossible, and nobody's going to let him.
I can say that USSR it's a bit like, that ugly old Lavrov's ass. I mean, there's absolutely nothing beautiful about it, but perverts love it.
I would disagree. There was something beautiful about it. The tools. Because the tools are absolutely amazing. Like, contrary to what people think, that Soviet Union couldn't really achieve anything, I have to tell you that I had the opportunity to sit in a Soviet, what was it? BMP, I believe. It's like a, What's the word? English. Come on, active vocabulary.
Tell me.
Armored vehicle. That's what it was. And when I sit down in it and I realized that every single thing in the vehicle is manual, there was no electronics in it. And I was like, no freaking way. This whole thing is manual. And the guy was like, yeah. And I was like, no. And then it dawned on me how intricate, like the Soviets put a lot of money into like the tech and the tools, because like my grandfather's tools that he bought in the Soviet Union, they are far more resilient and far more better built, and like they were built to last, like the hammers, the anvils, everything. And then I just, like me and my dad once went to the store and bought this shitty Chinese clamp thing, and it was made out of powdered metal. And I just like I'm a big guy. I'm like about 2 meters tall, 6 feet, and I was like, you know, like screwing something together with this clamp, and I was like rotating, and then it just snaps in half, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What just happened?
I had the same problem with. So I bought a toolbox made in China, and there was this разводной ключ.
That wrench, adjustable
wrench, exactly. So it broke into pieces as well as a freaking hammer. I mean, what kind of
powdered metal?
Yeah, like a hammer, man. Yeah,
but they're doing it on purpose. You know that they're just that's what the Chinese are doing, is filling the entire world with shit. So when it comes for them to like advance and strike everybody, nobody's got any tools that work. They know what they're doing.
But speaking of tools and techniques in Soviet Union, we should think about it from the point of view of the outcome. I mean, yes, I agree that Soviet Union had great tools and technique. That's why they were able to launch first man into space, while people only started using toilet paper like 8 years after that. So it's like
that one. I imagine toilet paper was invented 1 hour before Yuri Gagarin went into space.
But can you imagine if you look at it from the side of America? I mean, being North American, it's pretty much the same thing as a Canadian. But to imagine that toilet paper as a common commodity came to the Russian people after the space race started.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But this is the thing, Dick. Obviously, because it was a centrally planned economy, and a lot of the planning was built around the blooming like arms race.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to remember the guy who said it about the Soviet Union years ago, and said he said quality of like Soviet made like consumer goods are bloody awful, but but Kalashnikovs are bloody brilliant,
Yeah, but there's two classic examples of how the whole communist approach didn't work very well. Number one was computers, right? During the 8-bit era into the 16-bit era of the 80s into the 90s, they fell behind so bad it wasn't funny. And the other side was automotive. There was their automotive sector was pathetic at best. And into like the 90s when, North America, Europe, Australia, and so on and so forth are enjoying all these amazing cars, they still had garbage.
Across the whole world. I mean, mostly in the Soviet Union, it was Chaikas, wasn't it? I think was the main car company. But the one that used to be an absolute byword for a joke was the Czech company Skoda. That was a byword for a joke about cars in the UK.
But they got bought up by VW, and now everything's a Golf underneath, so they're good cars.
They even did a very successful advertising campaign a few years ago when they put this new range of quite flashy cars out, and the whole tagline was, hey, it's a Skoda, honestly, even kind of acknowledging the fact that they used to be a bit, seen as a bit of a joke, and they took it and ran with that and did very, very well off the back of it.
It's funny though to look at the difference. I mean, Starsky, I'm sure there's that whole regime outlook just doesn't quite work out the way everybody wants it to. And now, instead of, supposedly, doing it the welcoming way, I mean, this'll never hold in the end. This can only end one way.
Yeah, of course. For example, in the United States, as soon as you are 14, I guess, right? You can receive the driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
16, I believe.
16 in Canada.
16. All right, and you can spend not so much money, basically your monthly salary, in order to buy a car. Like everybody drives a car in the United States. It's not a problem, and it was always like that, like in 60s, 70s, whatever. In Soviet Russia, any Soviet country, basically, it was kind of problem. I mean,
car was a luxury. Still
yeah,
kinda is.
you could only afford a car in case your parents were some kind of high-ranked communists, of course,
Yep.
or working, or like directors at some kind of plant or something like that, factory, whatever. I think Jack knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And
people in the know.
yeah, and thing is that in the Soviet Union there was absolutely nothing made for people. So if you were a teenager, you could mostly afford some kind of scooter.
At best.
At best, yeah, and the scooter would suck balls, because we had nothing like Hondas or I don't know, you name it, and in Soviet Union we had a bunch of some
Urals or whatever.
Yeah, like Dnieper motorcycles or something like that.
Sorry guys, but I want to get in with a good one here. Madeline Suzette says India is buying oil from the Russians and have expanded massive trade deals and new shipping trade routes. And I replied with, what the fuck? That's like some disgusting shit. And she says, yeah, it is. And it's like huge trade deals. So, if this is true, like, that's not going to put you on the floor of the world stage in the place that you want to be. What the fuck?
Well, India's
and
always had close strikes.
Yeah. And worst of all, India thumped us at cricket today, and I was there to watch it live. Anyway.
Again, Starsky, real problems in our country. Don't worry.
Oh, real problem undercutting.
But think about this now. Think about this on the world stage of a few things, because India are in charge of Land Rover and Jaguar, right? They have, through Tata Motors, controlling interest. And as such, this could become a situation where you can't go to a dealership and buy yourself a new F-Type. Why? Because they're no longer allowed to be imported because India fucked up.
You got to expect something like that to happen soon, because the world is reshuffling, and a lot of people are not going to get on this good side of others, and some things might just disappear. So
I think someone was about to say actually before I made my little joke about the cricket, but there is some truth in the fact, yes, that historically India has also, does have some ties going back to what was the old Soviet Union, from ever since their independence, because it was a sort of the first government was a sort of socialist government. I mean, they weren't, weren't full on communist, but they were quite left leaning sort of socialist government that copied one or two of the Soviet Union's economic ideas. So I know there's always been a little bit of a long-standing relationship there with India and Russia, I guess, but
it's I mean, you know, you got to look at it from the point of view of, like, even in Formula One auto racing, Russian drivers dropped, done. You know what I mean? They had a thing where if you were willing to take a license from a different country, maybe because you lived there actually, then you could still race. But Nikita Mazepin, his father is one of those fucking oligarchs or whatever, and they just said to him, "Fuck you. Fuck off. You're a Putin bitch." And holy fuck, did he raise bloody hell. And maybe he has a point because he's just the son of the guy. But even still, India's got to know. Yeah. But India's got to know that cozying up with the beast is just not the way to play it. What are they thinking?
Some people don't think ahead. They just do. And then suffer the consequences. They're like,
Freaks me out
later.
Yeah, man. That's fucked up. And, you know, do the young in India agree with this? Or is this just a situation where, you know, again, like the whole Roe versus Wade in America, where it's just the gray-haired old fucking I'm about to die fucks that are in power that make this kind of bullshit based on, you know, old school beliefs and stuff? Or, you know, are we really seeing what the populace wants? I doubt it. I mean,
well, this is the thing. Do the populace people know?
Yeah, I was going to say the Indian populace are not that well informed. Saw some very interesting videos, you know, pertaining to flat Earth and shit like that. Talking to people from India, and they literally don't have a clue what's going on in their own country. Never mind what's going on the world stage.
And I kind of don't want to be an asshole, but have you seen India? Like, you know, not the nice parts. The, you know, casual parts where everything's
nice
so
parts.
I mean, like they're a little bit, you know, interesting people. Let's put it that way. And you know, trying to ask them to politics is a little bit kind of like, I don't know, out of their
they're more worried about where the next grain of rice is going to come from. You know, these people are seriously suffering. It's not a third world country for nothing.
So you kind of like, you know, judging them too hard is, you know, and they don't really have any control of what the politicians are doing.
Well, yeah, true. That, and I said that as a reflection of the political climate, not the people themselves, right? Because, you know, for the lower class in India to rise up and make their voice heard isn't going to be a comfortable situation where people just sit down and chat. All hell's going to break loose, right?
Yep, just kind of like in my country, you know.
Yeah. Starsky, you know, okay, we got the question here about young versus old, but I would say that in Ukraine right now, pretty much all generations are united, and I bet that's a situation a lot of countries can't actually claim to have.
Yeah, I can say that because, you know, our generations now depend on each other very, very much. I could say one of the funniest things that I want to talk about is, like, you know, Russians claim a lot, like, you know, like Azov was shooting at civilians. They were using them as a shield and stuff like that. What Russians don't understand is that Ukrainian army is always united with our people, because I think that Ukrainian people have collected so much money for Ukrainian army during these 4 months that this number would be fantastic just to tell it, because every day we receive all kinds of drones, all kinds of equipment, not only from our allies, but also from all kinds of charity funds. Like last week, one of our public figures, he is a chief of one of the most famous charity funds that support Ukrainian military. So he announced collecting money for buying Bayraktars from Turkey in Ukraine, following the brilliant example that was shown by our Lithuanian allies. And it took like 3 or 4 days for Ukrainians to collect money for Bayraktars. It's amazing. And Russians don't understand how much help Ukrainian people collect and send to Ukrainian army every day. It's like crazy. We have tons of those child drawings, so in schools, children would draw us letters since 2014. We had all our walls on our positions decorated with those drawings. And actually, we believed that they protect us from bullets better than armor. It's you got to see just how much Ukrainian people support our army, just to understand that all kinds of bullshit that is spread by Russian media and Russian bots, it's just so silly and funny and naive, because truth is so much different.
And that's why they can't win. They can't win. The war will go on until there's not a single Ukrainian left in the country to fight.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We're
no, but at that point, there will be a whole bunch of people from all over the world still fighting for the land, and there will be some people that are, saved and evacuated, and they'll just go back and make a home in Ukraine, and do what they got to do to rebuild. There is no end to this but Ukraine standing on its own. There's none.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Ukraine is supported by like 98% of the world. And you cannot win against such amount of decent people. So
no.
It's like, no matter how big is Russian army, doesn't matter how many people he's going to mobilize, but you simply cannot win against the whole world. That's the point.
That's right. And the entire world, like so many people from Canada have gone over because they're doctors and stuff. And a few have died and whatnot because, our military, action and combat and stuff got really bad. And people are still going. And I know in the United States and in other countries all over, people are doing the same thing. We also have Ukrainian family refugees, people that are not fighters coming to our countries, and we're putting out money time after time. All kinds of countries, we're taking political action to get Ukraine enveloped into our big group societies so that bigger action can be taken. There is no victory but Ukraine.
100%. I mean they don't understand the consequences that are following very, very soon. Even today, like for example, how many kids in Russia were able to buy a freaking game on Steam since March?
None.
Yeah, it's 0. And they don't understand that they should somehow, I don't know, somehow improve relations with their neighbors. It's not like it's medieval times. You have to have great relations with your neighboring countries. You have to have great relations with all the world, because this is the way to survive, to develop, and to thrive in the end. It's not like you can happily live in the economically and culturally and politically isolated country like North Korea. This is not the way we do business in modern society. It's crazy. But I mean, sometimes, you know, sometimes I feel sorry for Russian people. But on the other hand, you know, I'm so much more sorry for our widows and orphans than them.
We have a great super chat. And I know Clapper's been waiting, but I want to get the super chat in because I really hope that we could get a hold of some of these pictures and show them. Oh, please, please, please. Aimee, are you there and ready?
I am. I have a couple other super chats as well. So let me get through these. Oh, and another one just popped through. So we'll get through these real quick. We've got the first one from level 70 for Canadian $6.99 says, Operator Starsky, how is the Ukrainian government preparing for the upcoming brutal Ukrainian winter with so many people without heat or a home? Then we have Susie Q for $5 American says, why are phosphorus bombs not considered chemical warfare? Love you, Starsky. Glad you are safe. Praying for soldiers today. Stay strong, brave, stay safe. Then we have Samantha Williams for New Zealand's $16.99. Some of my kids at work drew you guys some pictures. We support you from here and we believe in you. And then we had another one. Let me get over to the page here. We have one from Doctor Who Design for €4.20. Sorry, the Streamlabs link isn't working for me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Doctor Who. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there must be an issue. Doctor Who and I were back and forth in the chat about it. But Doctor, thanks so much for contributing. We're sending a huge chunk every week to Ukraine humanitarian relief. And it's not just every week from this show, but we're doing it every week from our entire channel income. So, you know, but yeah, let's leave this over to Starsky because I think he's got a couple things he wants to address then.
Yeah, so regarding the winter, I'm sure that there will be Ukrainian rescuers with their mobile like checkpoints for people who need to get warmed. We've had such checkpoints like probably last winter, I think, and it's normal. It's like usual thing here in Ukraine. So sometimes they do such, you know, tents with heaters where people can spend some time. Sometimes in summer when it's very hot in Ukraine, it's completely opposite. So they put those like gates spreading water vapor, very cold water vapor, so you can cool down a bit. Our rescuers do a very nice job here in Ukraine, saving our civilians as much as they can.
Okay, and we should, well, shout out Susie Q here again. Why are phosphorus bombs not considered chemical warfare? Love you, Starsky. Glad you're safe. Praying for the soldiers. Totally strong. Stay brave. Stay safe. Not a bad question, though. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so basically, I gotta ask our biochemical radiation warfare service. So probably they can answer that question.
I think I can actually answer why it's not considered to be a thing. It's mostly because it's probably going to take a lot of investigating. Like, you know, if you remember the thing that happened with the plane, right, that Russians downed, the what was the number?
17.
MH17. It took years to actually, you know, establish that was the Russians that did it. And I guess the same thing is going to be with the bombs, but you know, it doesn't work like that. You can't just, you know, there's evidence, yes, there's videos of, you know, those bombs going off, but you got to prove it, and it's going to be a mess, I think.
Yeah, this is the way investigation works in modern countries, because you have to collect evidence. Then those evidence should be processed. then there must be some kind of, results shown to the public and stuff like that. It's not like Russians claim, oh, Ukrainian nationalists were killing Russian-speaking people. Yeah, Russian-speaking people since 2014, so we had to intrude and save them. Like, what's the proof? Like, there's not a single, not a single case was transferred by Russian side to international institutions regarding that, because, you cannot prove what never happened.
Yeah, it's just hearsay.
Yeah, and in case with MH17, again, I remember that those representatives of European Parliament, they were so shocked with this massive disinformation that was spread over and over again by Russians regarding this airplane. They were blaming Ukraine. They were making photoshops of Su-25 shooting this airplane with air-to-air missile, and they didn't even care that Su-25s don't fly so high. So, basically, yeah, one of my American friends told me one good thing regarding Russians. He said, Russians, there's a way to learn if Russian is lying. It's when his lips are moving, basically.
I love it. Let's bring Jeff Breeze in, and then I think we got a super chat for Aimee after.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's obviously this is a long-standing thing with like these sort of chemical things with Putin, though, and it is difficult to get things done about it. Now, I mean, as people know the history, Putin, quite clearly has carried out 2 assassinations on British soil using chemical warfare. Quite notable. Yet there's very little, we've actually been able to do about getting, actually bringing them to account. I mean, there's a town about 20 miles or so away from where I live called Salisbury, where there was a
Salisbury accident, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's we know what he did. Litvinenko, yeah. We know what he did there, and the best like defense they could use for this was to say that now there is a place not far from Salisbury where called Porton Down, which is where Britain does a lot of it, stores a lot of its chemical or biological agents or whatever that they have. And of course Putin, and sadly I've got to say, 1 or 2 blooming figures in Britain even perpetrated the lie that this was some sort of blooming op by the British government against its own people, which is absolutely nonsense.
It's mental.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, I'm going to hold my hand up. I was so proud of getting blocked on Twitter by George Galloway over that. I'm going to say, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Yeah, but so we know Putin has form on this.
Agreed. Dave, should we tackle a couple of viewer moments and see what they spawn? I'm feeling it.
Sure thing. I'm not quite sure I can pronounce this name. What's it? Aaron Reese? Is it? Again, this guy.
Not that fuck again.
Never heard of him.
Again, with the stupid names. No, he can't be on the panel tonight. That's why we were making fun of him. Have the Russians retrieved the train cars full of dead Russian soldiers, or are they still building up?
No. So we were keeping that train in Lysychansk, I think, but it was an old information. I think that we kept that train in April or May. And it was already full of Russian bodies, but they never retrieved them from Ukraine for obvious reasons. I mean, imagine them like lying to their citizens that there are no casualties among Russian soldiers, then there are few casualties, like 20, 50 men and stuff like that. And then they would receive a huge train full of bodies. I mean, that would be awesome. So
where do you think their Tasty Burger franchise is already sprung up from?
It's McDowell's. You know, the Eddie Murphy movie? They're McDonald's, they're McDowell's.
Yeah.
It's Soylent Green. It's made of people.
They have the golden ark. We have the golden ark.
Golden arse, more like.
I can ask a couple more questions actually, but I'll ask them one at a time. Let's have.
Please do, otherwise we'll talk shit.
That's the fun bit. Rodent no last name. Starsky, have you sampled different military rations, MREs, etc.? If so, which ones are the best and which ones are the worst?
So French rations are best. They're awesome. There's all kinds of stuff like chocolates and different juices, instant juices and shit. So you have a huge box. It's like huge, and there's all kinds of yummies. I mean, I could live on such a ration for like a week. The worst ones, well, I didn't really try Russian rations because I don't want to turn into an orc or have a severe case of diarrhea or something. But no, I've stolen 2 packs of sugar once from Russian ration, but I didn't try it. Ukrainian rations, those old ones, they sucked a lot because the only thing that you could consume from old Ukrainian ration was this canned meat and those crackers that we had. We used them to to make fire. And I'm not joking. We made campfire using those crackers. They're so bad. And modern Ukrainian rations, I would say that they are even better than those made in the US because they're tastier. Again, Ukrainian cuisine is so good. I hope that I know exactly what to bring you guys when when we have a meeting. So I will bring you a bunch of Ukrainian rations so you could try them.
You know, Starsky, we're going to have to plan this as like a 3-day hookup because there's going to be alcoholism. There's going to be sharing of food and stories and whatnot. And there's going to be like, at least 10 of us that can, properly plan to be there. What we might want to do is find ourselves like a campsite or something where we can be rambunctious, but still have a good internet connection to do some shows, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? The Shills campfire style. Holy fuck, who falls into it first? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. 100%.
I need this in my life. That would be so cool. Oh, yeah. Who's up? Amy's up. Aimee.
Yes, please. We have a couple super chats here. Let's see. We've got one from Jessica Raquel Moreno Chu for Canadian $10. Says, please tell, how is the Belarusian war stash and friends doing? And then we have Simon Shorthouse for Australian $10. Operator Starsky doesn't push his channel, but you can find a link to his PayPal on his channel, and he uses the funds to provide needed items to the troops. Thank you so much, everyone. That's great, and that's perfect information. Thank you, Simon.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, that PayPal is active. It's not been kiboshed by some of the other powers that be. So it's a very, very powerful tool. And the Belarusian question, I almost think that we got to get Jack Clapper here in on this one too. So I'm going to bring it up on screen, and we'll go with Starsky first. But Jack's definitely going to have an opinion as a Belarusian, right?
Well, I haven't heard for quite a while about the war stash and his friends. From what I know, they were fighting together with our guys in Severodonetsk. Like before moving out of Severodonetsk, we received news that one of their commanders, unfortunately, lost his life, and he died like a true hero fighting in Ukraine against Russian invaders. But as for war stash, I think that he's okay. Don't quote me on that, please. I think that Jack might know something about it.
I actually tried looking. He has a Telegram channel. In the same fashion, like I, told you on the stream before, everybody has a Telegram channel these days. And he was posting videos. That's where they were coming from. And I kind of followed it, and then I, had to I had a situation where I had to clean everything out, and I did. And I couldn't find that channel anymore for some reason anymore. And I did look for a while, and because he doesn't really kind of have like his they call him the Belarusian Yankee. That's what they're like. We are referring to him. And I tried everything. I tried Google searching. I tried Telegram searching, Twitter, everything. Couldn't find jack shit. So can't really say anything. But, in regards to the fact that there was incident, like Starsky said, we lost a couple of our guys from the, Belarusian battalions. And some of them were shown on state television in Belarus, and, mocking them and their parents. I would not go as far to say that he might have gotten in trouble, but I'm not sure. I heard that there were 2 Belarusian guys that were detained, took captive, POVs, prisoners, taken prisoners by Russians. And yeah, not good. So that's what I know, at least.
Yeah.
Wish I knew more.
Yeah. But then again, as it gets deeper, it gets harder to sift through, right? I mean, it just causes you more work and effort, I'm sure, right?
Oh, there's so much. The flow of information is just, it became unbearable. Like at some point, I just had to kind of like, dial it down.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd lose my mind. Oversaturated. Too oversaturated.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because it is saturation levels, right? I get there too, and yet I want to be on top of things each week when we do the Thursday stream. But it gets to a point where, you've got personal issues, local issues, political issues across your country. We've got North American socioeconomic political issues and whatnot coming into play, and it becomes all encompassing to the point where literally we're all going to be on anxiety meds,
There's only so much the human psyche can take, and mine definitely reached its limits. I had to go and get professional help because I'd lose my mind.
Yeah, I'm on the same thing. I'm only on the upswing right now from a med change and whatnot, and I'm trying to get back into our Discord and be social and whatnot, but I'm having a really hard time because, it's just overwhelming, yeah.
Same.
I wonder, is that a topic of conversation there, Starsky? Are situations like that becoming more common in Ukraine, in the general populace? And as such, is that an area of support that the world is missing?
Sorry, Dick, I missed the conversation because I was looking for the information on
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
We were
and
talking about anxiety just due to the overwhelming, harshness and sadness of news and whatnot that's coming out, and how people have general populace, not war hardened people, but general populace have this is anxiety inducing stuff, and support is needed for those things, not just here's a meal, but holy God, are you keeping it together, and how are your children and stuff?
I agree on that. So currently, we even have volunteers, civilian volunteers from other countries that come to Ukraine and help, like locals, like in the areas, for example, like Hostomel, uh, like common civilians who have problems, who lost their home, or they feel nervous or anxious. Uh, it's a problem, and I think it's not a new problem, because I'm sure that there were cases like this in former Yugoslavia, for example, in Bosnia, in Croatia. A lot of people had such problems, so I think that we will deal with it, of course, eventually. Uh, but yeah, currently, we have this kind of anxiety among civilians. I'm not even mentioning, our military guys.
Yes.
As for Yankee, so about a week ago, he was interviewed by Ukrainian news agency called Union, and he told them his opinion about the possible invasion from Belarus. And obviously he's fine. I mean, like last week we moved out from Lysychansk, and I think that if he gave his interview to our news agency, that then he must be fine.
We can only hope.
Yeah, and they took a really nice picture of Yankee. Let me see if I can throw it to the chat. Because I can just a second.
And kind of like a side note, I've been reading Moscow Times, and they've been mentioned that the State Duma, meaning like kind of like a parliament, their parliament agreed that to give the government the ability to, I believe, was it economy or just in general, to enable the wartime kind of like mode. So silent mobilization might be coming to Russia. Perhaps.
Yeah. So
there you go, Starsky. Got it up.
Yeah. So according to this new legislation, this new law that was adopted by Putler, Russian companies are forced to service and maintain damaged Russian military vehicles. And majority of those companies, they don't have neither experience nor equipment needed for providing maintenance to those vehicles. And it's like free of charge, something like that.
Yeah, the government can do that. They usually expect, like, you owe them. That's kind of like the whole feel of the ex-USSR countries. They always think that that you owe them, whether you're a business, whether you're like a person. Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, shit, eh? On On a maybe slightly more positive note, Starsky, has there been any chatter back home about any progress for what's their name, Eurosong competition winners? Like, getting any studio time to release something and record and, give us a breakthrough first release kind of thing?
Oh, no, not really.
Shit, I hope they get the chance. I really do. Like, somebody should step up and just, fly them out to the studio in a country, where everything's cool and whatnot, and let them lay down the tracks, man.
Well, they're not new kids on the block. They actually do have a history. They're not just like a suddenly formed band just for the Eurovision Song Contest.
But that's what I mean. Like, they're not like we have a songwriter and a choreographer and somebody who picked you based on how you look and stuff. They're a real group, and I would like to see them actually get the chance because it's almost rare these days.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make this playlist because I've been asked multiple times by my audience about Ukrainian music that I would recommend to hear. So I'm trying to make some kind of playlist because, like, we have a bunch of bands. For example, the Hard Keys, Ukrainian band, and I'm struggling to pick their best track because they're all are awesome completely. I'm listening to like 10 of their tracks currently, and I'm trying to pick as much songs as I can, but it's like my playlist is 100 songs long already, so I'm not sure if people gonna like it.
But I sense a DJ Dick Dawson stream of Ukrainian music coming up.
That's a good idea. Starsky and Dawson host a Ukraine fucking stream. Tonight, we play the real motherland's music. Wouldn't that be fun, Starsky?
Yeah, I support that. Only not tonight, bro. Because
No, God, no. But we'll plan it for coming up when, it's, a better time for yourself and we can get it in proper. That'd be great fun.
Yeah, I totally support that.
Good idea.
And make sure it's not copyright strikeable.
Well, we can get in touch with people ahead of time, and we can say, hey, blah, blah, and they can put, if they've got rights management, they can clear the channel, so we're good to go.
Perhaps.
I'm sure in this day and age with what's going on and all, I do believe that we would get the pass on it. That's just how it works. I'm sure it'll work.
I can totally contact their managers and ask about that because, 100% of Ukrainian artists and musicians, they totally support Ukrainian army as well as, such
right.
Such yeah.
And you've got the contacts to make contact. We've got the history of doing this kind of shit that makes it legitimate because we're not just doing a one-off. It's actually what we do. And it all fits together perfectly. We might even be able to hand out the meets link to some of them people to hang out. Holy shit. Wouldn't that be amazing, Starsky?
Yeah, 100%. I think that it would be so great if we could invite the Hard Keys band because it's like Ukrainian Marvel. I'm serious, and a bunch of other bands as well. For example, Andriy Hlivnyuk, who made this track with oh my god, the most famous band in the world. Come on.
Zeppelin? Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, yeah.
Yes, that guy, yeah. David Gilmour is on record saying how talented the collaboration was, like how natural it felt for him too, and that's high praise. Wow.
I'll get Gilmour on the phone. Maybe he'll join.
That'd be an awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Starsky, there's been a few people in the chat asking you to spell the band, Heart Keys. How do you spell the name so people can find it proper?
It's the Hard Kiss. Hard and kiss are one word. Hard Kiss.
Hard, not heart. Okay, there we go.
Hard.
You'll find it. Yeah. So I figure we could pull this off inside of a couple of weeks if we actually give it an effort, right? Maybe, but before North American summer's out, you're gonna catch a stream and we are gonna blow your fucking mind. Hard Keys, yeah, there we go. Level 70's got it. Cool.
The Batka Nash Bandera is an absolute must if we're gonna be doing this.
Cool.
Yeah. On the other hand, I think that our Polish friends might be abused about it. So it's a great song, but only for internal audience mostly, because we have to respect our friends as well.
I didn't consider that. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. But yeah, and I'm sure we're the right people to make sure that considerations are taken. Come on, we'll be fine. This will be some fun stuff. Everybody get a few, I just want to throw this into the mix ones ready. I know I got one. I would throw into the mix, what's that song by Asia? Oh, God damn. They decorated all the generals. Somebody's going to know it just from that, right? But that song would definitely fit in, I think.
I remember
we didn't get a copyright
Yeah,
strike for that, Dick.
Yeah, that's one that I did get. We did get called for. I think it's on the bad list because we've done. Starsky, you should have been there the night we did a stream on New Year's, I think it was, and we got 99 copyright fucking claims on the stream. Had we just gone that one extra 10 minutes, but I was wasted. I couldn't keep going anymore. But had we could have broke 100, and I think it would have been a YouTube record.
Yeah,
I still think it might be a YouTube record.
Next year.
Yeah, it might be. It might be, Jeff. You're not wrong. It might be. Very few people have the gumption to put their channel on the line to do something like that. But fuck, we didn't care. Aimee and I had a blast. It was amazing.
Oh man, I missed that, didn't I?
Oh, it was good
a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah.
It was funny too. At 99 we had.
Yeah, so close, right? But but Dave and Jack and a few there, we got a few of these coming up. See, we'll push that 100 mark if we just do a full-on assault on it and just drive YouTube's fucking, claims and everything to its knees. Just please stop. You're killing us.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm definitely joining this year.
That's the Christmas streams are very fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to be half drunk before you join the Christmas stream. Otherwise, you don't get it.
No duh.
Oh, Aimee, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yes, we've got a super chat from Dean Brown for $10 says, instead of fighting door to door in destroyed buildings, why don't we bomb all the ammo depots, fuel storage on their side of the border, the ships shooting from the sea, etc.? Stop the bombs beforehand. Thank you so much.
Hey, Dean, kudos to you. Nice to see you here, pal.
And it's there's a good point to that, but it really has to be tossed at Russia. Russia are attacking things that will weaken Ukraine, the civilian population, not just the military effort. They're playing some lowball motherfucking shit, man.
Yeah. About that, I've been hearing think tanks and Ukrainian news and everything. I think Starsky can back me up on this. That's their tactic. They are bombing and shelling civilians so that civilians start complaining to the authorities to kind of start negotiating with Russians and kind of do it hush hush and stop the war. Well, stop the war in terms on Russian terms. That's what I mean.
It's one of the points. Yes, I can support you on that. But another point is that they're simply eliminating Ukrainian population.
And that too, yeah. Genocide.
That's the kind of thing that, you know, as somebody who was born like, you know, I enjoyed the 70s as a youngster, right? So, you know, kind of old, but I can't believe that that's a phrase that's being uttered as fact and it can be backed up by action. It's fucking disgusting. How the hell is this our world right now? What the fuck?
They know that.
Yeah, imagine how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, their leaders know. Of course, common Russians don't have a clue about it. They think that Ukrainian civilians are probably kept as hostages here in Ukraine. But their leaders, like Putler, like Shoigu, they know exactly that Ukrainian army is supported by Ukrainian civilians. That's why they kill Ukrainian civilians, so they could, you know, get rid of this support of Ukrainian army.
Yep, they're fully aware of what they're doing, and they're lying when it's being pointed out to them. They're like, no, there's nothing like that. We're just, you know, we're helping, we're rescuing them. Right.
I mean, I tell you what, I swear the next person I see on bloody Twitter that is, yeah, and I admit some of them are probably bots or whatever, but the next person I see sort of saying about denazification of Ukraine, seriously, fuck you guys who push that, fuck the people who push that line. Because that's the Putin's big blooming argument, isn't it? You know.
Well, yeah. That's what he's been saying for a while.
Yeah, if I just may jump in real quick, I have a donation that we just got. Samantha W donated in Canadian $24.03. The only thing that helps me being overwhelmed by the horrors I see online is knowing every dollar I donate is a personal fuck you to Putin and the rest of them. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, good shout. Good shout. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Samantha. It's very nice to see you here as well.
Yeah, totally. Right? She's cool. Here I've got a YouTube short queued up that Aimee submitted here. So you want to give us an intro, Aimee?
Sure. This is from the Voices of Ukraine. This is about, I guess it's showing the Yankee there with, you know, be okay. They're going and doing what they need to do. It's just basically like almost like a status update. So it's real fast. He just shows him and he says a little blurb and then that's it. But it's just, yeah.
Good.
I think this is a video that someone was talking about earlier when they said that they saw a video of him. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Really
yeah, here we go.
Давай пісню. Не скажи нічого. Давай пісню. Ні. Пісню давай. Ні, не знаю, як у вас там в Легіоні, але у нас в ЗСУ не так.
Ты слушаешь ВСТО? Кого? Сейчас 10 километров пройдем и будем палкой крапиву пиздить.
Як варіант. А ну, давай пісню. Не скажи нічого. Давай пісню. Ні. Ні, не знаю, як у вас там в Легіоні, але у нас в ЗСУ
I like it though. Here, we'll let it go.
Oh, okay, sure.
Ты слушаешь ВСТО? Кого?
Oh, okay.
Сейчас 10 километров.
I thought we were gonna get the song. I was waiting for it. Damn it. No, that was good though. That was good. Good choice, Aimee. Good choice.
And they were just having banter. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool. Thank you. We also got a super chat in from level 70 for Canadian dollars, $6.99. Says, why hasn't Ukraine tried to assassinate the Russian leadership since Russia tried to kill Zelensky?
Whoa, hold on. We can't give away any future plans and stuff, but we all know that all the NATO countries have come together to decide that we have to hire one of those action hero sniper types in the background to do this. But shh.
But
all jokes aside.
But not JM Truth though. Not JM Truth.
Jokes aside, it's kind of, you're talking about people that are so paranoid out of their mind. Like Putin has his porta potty with him wherever he goes, just so that people don't get his DNA and what he eats and whatever.
Starsky, have you
what sicknesses he has?
Starsky, have you heard this too? That Putin won't let anybody ever collect his feces because he wants to make sure that nobody has access to his fucking, biologicals. What the hell?
I can tell you even more than that. So it's basically not only because he doesn't want anybody to have his DNA, it's because he doesn't want nobody to make his voodoo doll because he has this shaman who advised him this shit.
Yeah, because the Soviets are superstitious. Even though
but hold on.
They're kind of like not religious.
Hold on, you said voodoo doll as in like Gilligan's Island, poking a doll with a pin and voodoo doll.
Yeah, they are very superstitious, like Jack already said, and they believe. So whenever they cut their hair, for example, they must throw it into toilet because they're afraid, or like nails because they're afraid of being magically killed by people who hate them.
Okay, that's
contrary to like what people know about us Slavs. We still are kind of like in that Native American sort of kind of, like, I could, as an example, type of place where we still have homeopathy meds, kind of like ways like to heal stuff, and superstitious stuff like don't do this, don't do that, and also this kind of voodoo stuff, and the curses, and that's still there, very, very prominent.
Wow.
Black magic, man. Black magic.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I think Tony knows.
Yeah, well, Tony Lee Blair in the chat says, I donate to Voices of Ukraine every month from Australia. Big heart for Ukraine. Yeah, that's a good one. Sorry, DK, go ahead.
No, I was just going to be facetious. I was just going to say that, Putin knows that if they collect enough of his shit together, they can mold it into a better president, and it will overthrow him.
It would end up like South Park. That big old piece of shit would just end up being Bono from U2, and we'd have to put up with that shit again.
Yeah, he already tried doing that with Medvedev. And that guy's a turd, for sure.
Did you hear that Medvedev allegedly tried to commit suicide?
Mm-hmm. And also one of the guys that's responsible for the nuclear suitcase, but I'm not sure. It was never confirmed. It was more of a, this happened, and that's it, and it faded away instantly.
Yeah. And I heard that Medvedev's wife decided to divorce.
Well, I mean, he's an alcoholic, a massive one, and God forbid what kind of drugs he's doing. I don't even want to know. And on top of that, there's Putin that presses him to do shit and say shit, and he understands that it's not going to be great for his reputation.
Putin is one step away from Emperor Chin looking for the elixir of life and downing fucking mercury to his death. Come on.
I can't wait. Who's this guy you're talking about? Who's the other guy?
Medvedev?
Yeah, who's that?
Dmitry Medvedev. Oh,
oh yeah.
Chief of the State Security of the Russian Federation and former president of Russia.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not keeping up on current events.
Yeah, no, it's okay because he was so blank and empty that nobody even remembers he was president. That's fine.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
don't remember.
It was a thing. Yeah, but it was like what, 3-4 years, Starsky? Remind me? I also
yeah,
forgot.
something like that. I remember that during the war in Georgia, he was a chief of Orkish Federation, and it's like they were switching places with Putin. So at first he was like prime minister or something like that, and Putin was president, and then they switched, back.
Oh, right.
Basically, Putin took a vacation while having his hand shoved up that guy's ass and puppeteering him. he was actually even talking in this with the same mannerisms, and it was weird. It was very weird because he was emulating him to a T. It kind of yeah.
One of the funniest things is that Medvedev is known to be a huge fan of Apple, like iPhones and shit, and currently his favorite iPhone is blocked and he cannot buy a new one, Such a loser.
Yeah. It's actually really interesting how Russians are on one hand hate the West and the Yankees and oh my God, I need that new iPhone, bro.
They hate all of this stuff, but then they urge their companies to steal the designs and just pirate freely. I mean, come on, right?
Well, good luck with that with iPhones.
Yeah, Commander 401,
but not iPhones.
Yeah, true enough, right? Commander 401 was waiting to get in there.
Was Medvedev, actually I remembered him because his name was so hard to pronounce. Colbert was making it a joke. Was he just put there because they used to have term limits in Russia?
Mm-hmm. And then, Putin kind of switched places with him, and that's how he kept himself in place. And then in the most recent election, if you remember, what he tried to do, because his terms was finished, and he either had to rewrite the constitution, which was because he promised never to do that to the Russians. So what he attempted to do is try to unite with Belarus, that's what we thought. And Lukashenko kind of did his whole gypsy thing where he yeah, sure, and then he jumped off that boat at the last second. And Putin had nothing else to do to kind of do this shady constitution rewriting thing where he made himself termless so he could just sit on the throne forever, pretty much. Literally rewrote the constitution.
I read when I was doing research on Thomas Paine, believe it or not, I wound up coming across an article, peer-reviewed article, Hobbes, Locke, and Vladimir Putin's Russia. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the article is probably right. The oligarchs, Putin, at least the article was written in 2007. So it might be different now. The oligarchs, he used to need them as kind of like a mob thing. But the article said that he married the worst of feudal Europe and Soviet Russia. And how would you describe what he actually did? Because some of the things that the people were saying at the fall of the Soviet Union, some of the people were calling Ronald Reagan a moderate Marxist, some of the extremists away from the communism, and they wound up privatizing everything, giving everything basically to themselves. And the thing said they didn't have people didn't have access to public schools and whole sorts of other bits of horrors.
Well, when Putin came to power, you must understand that it was a place of complete. It was a wreck. The Soviet Union, when it collapsed, it was a wreck. But there were a lot of people that owned a lot of things. And when he's not like a normal president, obviously. So when he came, he talked to those people, the people that had collateral. Let's put it this way. He promised them that if they support him, he will support them in return. So, and then kind of became this binary. The article was right, where he was relying on them. But in a way, kind of like as a president, he couldn't, back then he was playing by the rules. He tried to make it look legit. So a lot of his riches, like yachts and, mansions and all of those things, they came from the oligarchs, because the oligarchs were paying, they were acting as his, wallets, essentially. And whenever he wanted something, they would just provide it for him. And in return, he would allow them to buy certain lands, to get through certain loopholes in terms of taxes, and have the ability to win certain tenders in certain, places. And, and so it went. And with time, I believe that he grew powerful enough where he could, because you must understand, he, at the same time with the KGB, was recording all of those things that those oligarchs did for him. And he kind of has a big, long list of things that he can pretty much accuse those oligarchs of and just put them in prison. But it's kind of like a two-way street, because they also know a lot of things. So it's kind of really hard to say for certain how it is right now, but they are codependent, that's for sure. They're kind of like Russia is like a body, and there are parasites that are kind of like spacing themselves between each other, and Putin is like the biggest one of them. So, if that makes sense.
Well, thank goodness they sucked a lot of the blood out of the Russian army before the invasion.
Yeah, that's a really good one, because there was actually like Alexei Navalny. He made a lot of reports of he pretty much blew open a whole like this way of the Shoigu, and or was it the army guys? I don't really remember. There was a company that was providing the Russian army with materials like boots and stuff, and they were essentially buying materials from their own people, like friends, and then making a markup that was intensely high to just pocket the money from that was allocated from the government to buy those things. So essentially, they were draining the government funds that were allocated for the army by just making fake markups on the spot, and just like then dividing that money that they sucked out of the government between each other. And that's normal in Russia. But when someone like Alexei Navalny comes around and just points a finger at that and is like, yo, you guys are sucking money out of the government budget, like what the hell? And then the government steps in and like, oh yeah, that was wrong, we gotta do something, that guy's a bad guy. And then they sort of pretend that they kind of like punish that guy, and it's ass.
Yeah,
absolute ass.
That becomes that revolving door almost. We'll get Aimee in for a few super chats here. I don't know where we're starting, Aimee. Is it level 70 or I'm so lost right now?
Oh, it's okay. No, it's Annabelle Pineda for $4.99. She's thank you so much, Annabelle. She sent us two little critters that are blowing horns. They're really cute. Thank you. They're adorable. And then we have Boston Dan 77 for $9.99 American, who said, any chance you guys can invite Jake Bro to Starsky's birthday bash? Thank you so much.
Well, does anybody know Jake Bro?
Yeah, so Jake Bro has his own channel, and he debunks a lot of stuff regarding Russia's fakes, and he's a great analytic.
Oh,
yeah. I
because
think
we do a lot of debunking around here on our other shows. That he sounds like a perfect match.
yeah, you're gonna love this guy. So you're gonna let me just throw you his link into the chat real quick. He's amazing. I've
Please
been
do,
subscribed
yeah, cool.
to Jake like for a long time, and he's absolutely amazing.
All right, good shout. Good shout. Love it. Love it. Because I mean, one thing we love is to meet new people and hang out, right? You know, I mean, we don't call ourselves the Shills for nothing. The best thing we do is, you know, try to shill out other people's content, right?
Shilling.
Yeah, man. Love it. So where do we take it from here? Starsky, are you dead? You know, are we taking it too far for you here, buddy?
I'm fine, but I would rather go to sleep, guys, because I have to get up in like 3 hours.
Yeah, why don't you call it a night and give everybody a good night? And you know what? Like tomorrow, I'll give you an email shout. And I think what we should do is plan this show a good hour earlier, because I think, you know, it would be better for yourself, right? We don't give a shit.
Yeah, I agree. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Let's do it.
Okay, so guys, many hugs from Kyiv to all of you, and thank you so much for your questions. It was really nice to see you tonight, and we will see you in the next one.
Good night, Starsky. Take care, brother.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Goodbye.
Good night, Sergeant Major.
That was awesome. Clapperjack, how about yourself? You got a little time in you left, or you know, pushing it a little hard?
No. I'm good.
Yeah, you sound like you're pretty loaded and ready to go still. So Jeff, you know, I think that was your first, you know, stream with Starsky. You know, it's not so much about the information he brings; it's about the camaraderie that comes to the table. Is that not the better way to say it? The guy's a gem, right?
Absolutely. And again, I mean, I think obviously the information that's being brought to the table is very good because I think, you know, it's good to really hear what is happening here and going on the ground. And when, you know, especially when, you know, I guess mainstream media being what it is or whatever kind of moves on to the, you know, the next thing or whatever, that you guys in having Starsky on is kind of keeping this going, and it needs to be kept going. But yeah, I think it's like I said in the super chat earlier, it's about solidarity with people in Ukraine.
Totally.
Which I think is kind of why you guys are doing this, and you know, and I'm totally on board with that.
Well, you should stop saying solidarity and comrade, because you all sound like a bunch of fucking communists.
Well, here, Aaron, I got an idea. Why don't we do a quick?
With you, DKG. Sorry.
Yeah. Sergeant Soltz will take you to your fucking cell now. But why don't we wrap this stream up? We can fire up an after show and, you know, just have a bit of a hangout and invite a couple of the viewers to join us and whatnot and have some fun.
Oh, what viewers? Nobody's watching.
Well, there kind of is, you know, and, you know, if anybody wants, join our Discord. Here, I'll do one of those invite things because, you know, it's probably helpful. And here we go. So here, follow my link, join our Discord, and I will put the meets link into the general chat for everybody. And whoever wants to jump on can jump on. I'll post an event that'll start at 5:30. So we're going to say goodnight right now. Let's see, DKG, you got 30 seconds. Say what you got to say and, you know, nothing more.
30 seconds. 30 seconds is ages. Now I'll say goodnight, Slava Ukraini, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Jeff Breeze, stick around for the after show, but you got 30 seconds. Use them or abuse them, baby.
I've not got much to say, really. Not got a lot to plug. Well, I say not got a lot to plug. I'll just give a little teaser. I'm in negotiations right now to get Kent Hovind's ex-wife onto my channel for an interview, which I think could be interesting. So, but
wow.
I haven't got
Jeff, if I can offer my services to produce that, to make it everything it could be, please let me know.
Yeah, sure, dude. Yeah, I am in conversations with her at the moment. We've been chatting back and forth for about a month or so now. So hopefully that will happen soon. But we always seem to have a bit of an issue getting a date where we're both,
Yeah.
Sober.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. She's really nice.
Well, we got killer stuff coming up over on Jeff's channel, and we'll get the link in the description as soon as the stream is done. I got to do an edit there. So let's turn to Commander 401. Didn't get a lot of time on the stream, but probably caught enough of it to have an opinion. What do you think, Commander?
I think this is great. One good thing is try to humanize the Ukrainian cause, because there's a bunch of assholes who just trying to say, well, the Ukrainians are proxies for people we don't like over here. But that's not the case. These are people with real lives, and Vladimir Putin has fucked their lives up, and someone needs to fuck Vladimir Putin up and, and end this thing. And, I just wish this whole thing never happened, but it's here. And on my channel, I have CGI Penguins actually doing a Ukraine war parody. And I'm coming out with a thorough debunking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is an openly pro-Putin congresswoman. And she's being, well, I'm going to put out a segment tonight on my channel, a short segment, where she's abducted by the Penguin Special Forces.
Awesome. We'll get the link. We'll get the link out in the after show and everything. And Clapper, what do you think?
I think it was a great stream. Informative as always, and we had fun. And yeah, I hope this is gonna continue like this.
Awesome. I want to give a big shout out to everybody for joining us and hanging out and whatnot and participating. Some of you really participate. You know who you are. You don't need me to fucking call you out. And I want to give you all a word of warning out there, fellow babies. If you ever see a scrawny fucking, does she look familiar type woman selling candles on the side of the street trying to make a living, for the love of God, run. It's probably Gwyneth Paltrow. On that note, we're out of here. Good night, fellow babies.
here. It's over. Go home.